Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast live, Sunday morning edition. Yes. Yo, it feels like forever since we did like an official 4-topic show, huh?
Man, it has been, man. It has been.
Though, right? It's only been like a week though, right?
I mean, that week, it's a long time when you think about it.
You know what? I think it has been a long time because the last 2 shows we did were watch parties, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we were supposed to do a 4-topic show Monday night. We did the national championship game.
Yep.
And
the Lakers game.
Monday night, we did the Lakers game. That's what happened. Okay. So we were just kicking in with the people being derelict in our duties. But, you got to give the people what they want, man.
Yeah, man. It's good, man. I mean, we had the time to sit back, let them learn a little bit more about us. We learned a little bit more about them. Talk. I mean, it wasn't even half the topics weren't even about sports. We were talking rap. Right. We were talking movies, what do we like and stuff like that.
Too, Yeah. Huh? I said sometimes that's cool too, because we're not just, I mean, of course, sports is our main thing here, but we're creating a community as well,
Absolutely.
On that podcast family. So that's love.
Absolutely. All the time. Sid, Bubba, what's going on? Steve, what's going on, man? Our lovely members of the chat, lovely members of the group, the podcast.
Yeah, no doubt. Good morning, Chief. How you doing? Anchors away. Shout outs to them boys from Annapolis. You ain't have to go and start singing.
My bad. I'm gonna stop right there, bro. You got 200 something more days.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just going. I'm gonna sit and wait till you.
What's going on, Eddie?
What's going on, Ed? Steve, what's going on, brother? Good morning.
Light up the chat, man. Don't forget to send the link out to your friends, your family, man. Once again, we're trying to grow this show, boy.
Yeah, man. Let's do that.
I need to tighten up my. Come here, boy.
This side. Come here, sit.
I need an Allen wrench. My dang seat. Y'all hear that, chat? That's my freaking.
Is that what that is?
My bad. I lean on that joint too much.
And I'm over here talking to Caesar. All right. All right, y'all. So, man, we got some good topics lined up for you today. Obviously, we're going to talk a little NFL because, well, we're football fiends and we're hurting right now. But we're gonna. I smoke rocks.
You smoke crack, don't you?
You sound just like that cat. But yeah, so we're going to talk some football, and we're going to talk about this craziness going on with these NBA coaches getting fired at odd times. And of course, it started off with Mike Malone, but then you go back and think about Taylor Jenkins from the Grizz, 31 games in. Mike Brown, he got fired. So in the last couple of years, you've really been seeing guys, get let go at strange times. So we're going to discuss that. Then I thought was an interesting one. I wanted to talk about Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark, and how Paige Bueckers maybe has dispelled a major myth about Caitlin Clark. So we're going to get into that. And then finally, we're going to talk about Isaiah Thomas, one of LeBron's biggest fans / advocates, I think somewhat for his own reasons, but that's a different story. But we're going to talk about him and his recent commentary about the King the other night. So, yeah, we got some good stuff lined up for y'all, and we are excited to deliver this content. So, but before we do that, we're going to give the little spiel, and then we'll get right to it. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept aware anytime we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you enjoy the content as you listen, make sure you give us a like, a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And write it down, put it in your phones, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the podcast and you want to help the show continue to grow, make sure you go ahead, click that join button, join the channel. We're going to have some exclusive content just for you. All right, y'all. All right. Wow, we reject Paige and all. Steve is at it already. Okay, Steve. All right, we'll get there, my man. We'll get there. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get to it, y'all. So, Transformers got a quick hit for y'all. I had one, but I had to adjust fire on that. And so, go ahead, Transformer. Let's do it.
Why you had to adjust fire on it, man?
Just fire because I was corrected by your brother on something. So, I'll tell you about it after the show.
Oh.
I was corrected. I was wrong. So, I can't come out here with a quick hit that I know is wrong. Can't do that.
Eddie, if you don't mind putting it in the chat, man, what was he wrong about?
Don't put it in the chat, Edward. Don't put it in the chat. You can talk to him.
Text me offline. Text me offline.
Yeah, text him offline. Don't put it in the chat. But I am admitting, Edward, that you corrected me and that I was wrong, man. So, but don't put it in the chat. Just let him know.
We'll do. But we're going to get it started, man. Quick hit. The NBA playoffs are not even locked in yet. Berth for berth, spot for spot. Some big games are going to happen today, which will solidify who will play the 4th seed, the 5th seed, the 6th seed, and the 7th seed. So a lot of games they're going to be leaning on whoever win these games. The Minnesota Timberwolves, Golden State Warriors, the Denver Nuggets, and the Los Angeles Clippers all have something at stake tonight. So they're going to all bring their A game because they want to figure out who's going to at least have one home court advantage, or if not, who's going to play OKC, who's going to play the Houston Rockets, and who are going to play the Los Angeles Lakers. The Memphis Grizzlies were in this matchup before they got eliminated out of the 4 through 7 seed, which they're now going to be at the 8th seed. So they're solidified in the play-in game, so they don't have a chance to move up. But games of today, we're going to be having the Denver Nuggets are going to be playing against Houston, which should be a easy win as Houston are resting all of their stars as they just played the Lakers Friday. Just played the Lakers Friday in which they set all their stars when we clinched our 3rd seed. Dallas is going to be playing Memphis. Like I said, Memphis doesn't really have much at stake here. Minnesota could definitely win their game. They're going to be playing Utah. They're going to be in Minnesota, so there's going to be a good game there. The biggest game of the night is going to be the Los Angeles Clippers at Golden State. So a lot of matchups are going to be required off of those 3 games. The scenarios are like this. Minnesota could get the 4th seed, the 5th seed, if Minnesota, Denver, and the Clippers win. Golden State could get it if Minnesota, Golden State, and Denver win, or if Golden State, Minnesota, and Houston win. And the Denver Nuggets can get it if Minnesota, the Clippers, and Houston win. So a lot of mix-ups going on with whoever wins out. Like I said, the for sure wins of today, I believe, are going to be Denver and Minnesota. So literally Golden State and the Los Angeles Clippers hold the keys in their hand for a higher seed or perhaps a potential home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs, man. What do you think about that?
I think, just to keep it brief, I think no matter who ends up with that 6th seed, I think you guys got tough sledding ahead of you. I do. All those teams, I think, match up fairly well with you. And it's not going to be Lakers in 5 on any one of those series. And beat them all. I don't think any one of them is going to roll over for you. I don't see that, bro. I don't.
5.
Go get the honey out the beehive. Lakers in 5, y'all talking that jive.
Lakers in 5. We don't care who we match up against, okay? All right. If I had to choose, I'd probably pick Minnesota. Minnesota be the easier game to win. They don't match up well against us. As you know, teams that run big lineups in which they're going to have Rudy Gobert, they don't play well against us. I think the teams that have the better chance of beating us in the playoff series will be the Clippers or the Golden State Warriors because they can play a little bit more. Golden State Warriors are the pinnacle of small ball basketball. They took that, ran with it years ago. So they're still one of the greater teams at it. When we have to play smaller lineups, it gets a little bit more dangerous for us. But when we got to play big lineups, easy. We're just going to switch on the big, Luka at the 1. We're going to bring Rudy up to the 5 and make him get benched. So it's very, very simple when it comes to that. The Minnesota Timberwolves, I don't think they got nobody that can defend Luka or no LeBron. They can try, but I think, this is going to come down to, who are the better superstars. Like I said, Golden State Warriors, they have a better shot with the small ball. Denver Nuggets, I have no reason to believe in them. We're going to talk about.
Is the coach gone or is in general? Because the coach is gone or in general? Because they've been a terrible matchup for you guys.
Both. Okay. I think when we played them earlier this season, we showed how we can beat them. And on top of that, you lost your coach, man. Mike Malone is a great coach. We'll dig into more of that later. I'm not going to drag that one on. But the Clippers, they've been hot lately. They've really been hot. This will be a good matchup. Hopefully Kawhi can stay healthy. I don't think he's played more than 30 games in like a month. 30 minutes. Excuse me. 30 minutes in like a month. So we're going to definitely put them knees to the test.
Yeah, you got to attack him. Salam. Absolutely. Morning, my brother. How are you?
Salam, Sneed. But yeah, man, that's all I got. Oh, one minor quick hit that I wanted to bring up. There are 29 teams who are either in the playoffs, the play-in, or the draft lottery. The team who have 3 of the highest players in salary, $159 million, the Phoenix Suns are the only team not included in any of it. Fun fact. You pay these guys millions of dollars. I stand corrected. $150,588,750 is the salary, and they are not a playoff team, nor a play-in team, nor are they in the draft lottery as the Phoenix Suns. Another fun fact: their salaries with Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker cost more than the entire Detroit rosters team.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy work. That's crazy work. Good morning, Nino. How you doing, my brother? Good to see you. Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
Dominique.
Easy work. Wow.
What's easy work?
No, I said that's crazy work. I think 3 guys paid more than the entire Detroit Pistons roster. And the Detroit Pistons are looking at what, 5-6 seed in the East?
They are the 6th seed.
There you go.
They will be the 6th seed going into the playoffs.
There you go.
Shout out to that coach, man. Again, shout out the Detroit Pistons. They were a bottom feeder last year. 14 wins. Ended this year 44. That's a 30-game swing. That's a lot.
That's another coach that got fired prematurely. But
Monty Williams?
Yeah, I mean, obviously
I was going to dig into that later.
They move, but but yeah, we'll talk about it definitely. Okay. Man, yeah, that's tough though. All right, we ready? We ready to get it popping with these main topics?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, my G, let's do it. All right, since you know we are football fiends on this show, we need it. We need it bad. We need it. Oh my goodness. Okay. We do need it.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God. I can hear it. I can hear it right now. Hopefully we won't get copyright. And I made the sound, but hopefully we don't get flagged.
No, that's my joint.
Oh, yes. We are 10 days away from the NFL draft, guys, going down in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Thursday next week on the 24th, man. I hope you guys are excited. I know me and Bruce, we're excited. We talk offline a lot. I can't even fix this hat, Jesus. We talk offline a lot about just, man, we're like, we be itching to figure out what can we talk about in the NFL in these topics, man. But as you know, the NBA has been taken off with a lot of dramatics, a lot of things that's been going on in the NBA world, the WNBA. They have some things going on. We just got done with collegiate basketball when it comes to men's and women's. So a lot has been deterred off of the NFL. But
yeah, man.
Today I said bump that. We're going to talk some NFL. I don't care if we just got to ramble about some NFL topics. Yeah, all right. We're going to talk the NFL. Okay. But
we need it.
I got some questions. This questions are going to be going for Bruce, and I want you guys to give me what your thoughts are in the chat. First of all, put your team in the chat. You guys know, you can see the hat. Green Bay Packers all day, every day. My boy Bruce, if you're looking at the logo right here on the top left side of his shoulder, that is the Baltimore Ravens. All right.
Yes,
right. So put those things in the chat. So, Brucey.
Yes, sir.
We have the draft coming up in 10 days.
We do.
Right?
We do.
You guys were defeated by the Buffalo Bills last year against Josh Allen in a nail biter. Very, very tough game.
Yeah, man.
What do you see in the NFL draft? I know we're both going to have bottom 20 picks. All right, 20 and below on the picks.
Yeah.
What do you see your team doing in perhaps the first, second round to help you guys' team get over the hump?
So it's crazy. Bruce and I were talking about this, and I'm having a hell of a time trying to figure out specifically what they could use. And I was thinking, do they need another corner, right? Because you got Humphrey and you got Nate Wiggins. And Bruce was saying they could use another corner. And I'm like, a slot corner, another lockdown guy on the outside. And so when he said a corner, then my bias comes in, right? So, okay, first, even before my bias, Travis Hunter is going to be gone, right? And so, all right, cool. By the time we pick, but maybe Will Johnson from Michigan, he is a down corner, or the other lockdown corner in this draft, Ben Morrison from Notre Dame. Now, both of those guys have dropped a bit because of some injury concerns, but if you can get those guys maybe in the second round, like that's something that you grab, because at the end of the day, you know that you're going to have Lamar Jackson playing lights out. Or you can run football with Derrick Henry, we know that. The offensive line looks solid. So what I will say is this. I will say you get one of those corners, Benjamin Morrison or Johnson from Will Johnson from Michigan. Or, and my other thought would have been if he's available, late first round or second round, snatch up Emeka Egbuka and put him in the slot. Receiver from Ohio State. If you have the opportunity to do that, you're giving Lamar Jackson just another weapon in the passing game in order to continue to move those chains, keep drives alive. That makes his ability to run the football even more dangerous. And we've seen that he is now an elite pocket passer. Like, there's no more question about that. So you provide him with even more weapons as receivers, and then you still have the ability to turn around, hand it off, and then he can freaking run the ball with his legs. Dangerous. So my answer to your question is Will Johnson, Ben Morrison at corner, or Emeka Egbuka at slot receiver.
I like it. It. If you could take everything you just said and put Green Bay behind it.
You guys cut one of your corners. So
no, we haven't cut him yet. You talking about Jair?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Talking about Jair. No, he's still in the Green Bay roster.
Okay.
I want Benjamin Morrison. If we could get Benjamin Morrison, as you guys know, I'm a huge advocate for the Notre Dame defense and what that defense has done, especially this last season. They literally, stifled the NFL, the NCAA, when it came to the defense, kept them in a lot of ball games, along with their run game that is very, 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 very prolific. So go Irish. I'm going to say it for you. But we're definitely going to need an answer at corner. I definitely believe that Jair Alexander will get traded at the draft. It's been a lot of speculation on it. We've been fielding offers, but I haven't heard nothing on a side to where compensation has been in discussion. I know we're looking at a potential third round, maybe fourth round pick for Jair. His health being the concern is what's dropping the pick value down. A lot of people are saying, second round pick. I'm like, that's a little high for a player of his caliber. He's a Pro Bowl corner for sure. But his health is the biggest concern. By mid-season, he's already out for the rest of the season in back-to-back years. So that's a potential bad problem for you. Other than that, D tackles, I'm looking at Derek Harmon from Oregon. I definitely would like a northern body at D tackle. Excuse me. At D tackle, I think he's not going to go as high in the draft. I believe we have the 23rd pick. Don't give me the line to you. I think we have the 23rd pick. Let me see.
You know what? Said D tackle. Give me a second.
Green Bay. We have the 23rd pick. So we got the 23rd pick and we have the 54th pick going into the second round. So I definitely think that we could, definitely go after. I would like Benjamin Morrison first. He'll go great with Nate Hobbs on the other side as we're trying to groom more cornerbacks with the Chicago Bears, the Detroit Lions, and everybody ramping up on their offensive side. We definitely need to address the defensive side. If not, I would like for us to go offensive lineman to just shore up the run. I mean, to shore up the protection for sure for Jordan Love. Don't want him getting touched. Don't want him getting hit. As we know, we got the San Fran guy, Aaron Banks, I believe. You know who knows? Like a Nation knows. I think it's Aaron Banks. Yep. I think Aaron Banks, the tackle that we got out of San Fran.
Also, I believe Aaron Banks is a Golden Domer as well. I'm almost positive.
I believe. Yeah, he played for the Irish. He played for Notre Dame. I almost said Golden State. But if we can go get another tackle, I know I've been hearing talks of looking at Charles Grant out of William and Mary, another offensive lineman. So yeah, Aaron Banks. So hopefully we get either that. Like I said, I'm looking at corner, I'm looking at D tackle, and I'm looking at offensive lineman. That should be our first two picks in the NFL draft for sure.
So you mentioned defensive tackle, and that's what I thought. So Mason Graham out of Michigan is probably going to be the number one defensive tackle taken in this draft. He'll be a top 10 pick. But there's another guy, the other guy from that inside D line at Michigan, Kenneth Grant, 6'3", between 331 and 342, and he is a beast. He ran.
Who did he play for again?
He played for Michigan in college.
Okay.
So Mason Graham was like the top guy, but they're saying that, like I heard Joel Klatt say that as great as Mason Graham is, that Kenneth Grant may end up being better than him down the road. And his measurables are crazy. Anyway, I say it to say, since he won't be taken that high, as you mentioned, defensive tackle, that might be a guy that you guys could look at. And also, obviously, he's acclimatized to playing in that type of environment, so that's not going to be, any difficulty for him. So, but yeah, I would say to look at that because he definitely can be an impact player for you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But let's welcome in our other Raven. Let's get his takes on this thing. We have G in the building.
What up, G?
Good morning, fam. How y'all doing, man?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. I see you got your logo in the background, making sure it shows for the show.
Yeah, for everyone to see,
That's a running gag. Yeah,
it is.
G, man, what are your thoughts on what the Ravens should be looking for in this draft, man, at least in the first few rounds?
I would say we need a corner, but we did just sign one. I think, I don't know, I was looking at Isaiah Likely and free agency. He up for free agency next year. And so that right there is a hot topic right now with Mark Andrews and dropping the ball and, the ups and downs. Even though he led the team in touchdowns last year,
man, he's
choked in the clutch. So I don't know what we're going to do, man, when it comes to, can we keep both of them? Should we keep both of them? And, and then looking ahead to the draft, like what pieces do we get? I think we need another corner, actually. I mean, somebody paid a grip for Brandon Stevenson. They signed Brandon Stevenson, and he was – I don't know how that happened, man. Like, he was the biggest hole in our defense, and he got paid.
Somebody saw, the physical tools and said, I can make this work in my scheme, so come over here. That's what people –
That's wild. Mental breakdowns when the ball in the air, like technique. Like, yeah, he's fast to a certain extent, but there is the Triple Crown guy over there in Cincinnati, and he was cooking everybody. So the AFC is tough with these quarterbacks being able to put the ball on the pin. So I have no idea, bro. I think we plus up the defensive tackles. Definitely offensive line, get another offensive line in there. And then, I mean, we good on running backs. I think we good on receivers. A lot of people will never say we have enough receivers, but I think we good on receivers this year.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard my suggestion on that, right? and that would be one. I was talking to Bruce about it, and I didn't think they needed a corner, but he was suggesting that we need another corner. I don't know if you make him a slot corner or you put him on the outside, make him a lockdown corner, and then you move somebody else around. So I'm like, if you need a corner and you can get one late first round or in the second round, you get Will Johnson out of Michigan or you get Ben Morrison out of Notre Dame. Both of those guys are lockdown guys, and they can do it. And then I was also saying, as a receiver in the slot, because you shouldn't go that high, you grab Emeka Egbuka, and that's just another weapon for Lamar out of Ohio State. You grab another weapon for Lamar because, as we see, he can completely dismantle people from the pocket now. Like, there's no more question about that. He can slice and dice. Of course, you turn around, you hand it off to and then he still has the ability to move extremely well with his legs. So, you continue to put weapons around this dude. That's one option. You get that. Or, like I said, you get another lockdown corner because, to your point, these receivers in the AFC, man, especially in the AFC North now, you need 2 quality corners against Pittsburgh now. You need the corners against Cincinnati, of course, and you maybe can get away with like one receiver against Cleveland, but still, it's still the AFC overall, so you got to be prepared for these passing offenses.
Yeah, you can't really have no holes in your defense, man. They're going to exploit.
That's right.
No, absolutely. I mean, what duo of corners can you get when you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? I almost said Tyler Hero. I don't know. I'm thinking NBA now.
But we still football. Can we have this for a little while?
Yeah. We can have this. Nothing about what's that term? NBR, something like that. It's something about basketball. But yeah, man. That's why I like Ben Morrison. Nate Hobbs, the one that we got, he's a great cover corner. Definitely a great cover corner. And I like that Ben Morrison is hands-on. He's real shut down, jam you at the line, point of attack, really stifling these receivers when they come off of the line. You got Nate Hobbs, who's on the other side, who can play more cover corner. We got some decent safeties in the backfield to, take care of the secondary if things get past Ben Morrison. So I think that'll be a great addition for us at corner. If he's available, I would definitely love for us to take him, especially if we end up trading Jair Alexander at the draft. If we end up keeping him, then stockpile up at least till we figure out what we're going to do with Jair Alexander. He's getting one hell of a contract right now anyway. So yeah, I think that's definitely where we're going to be at. Chat, what you guys think, man? Let me know what you in the chat, what your team may be looking at. If you're a Steeler, I know you're waiting on Aaron Rodgers. I apologize about that. Our receiver can be nice this year without a simp throwing lollipops. Who was his team again? The Browns? Pittsburgh. Oh, man. Hey, Steelers.
Quarterback, man. That's your problem. Right now, what's his name? The kid from Oklahoma State, man. Mason Rudolph. You don't have a quarterback.
Don't even have a quarterback.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Don't even have a quarterback. But I think a great fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What they got, the 20? What pick y'all at? I think they're at 17, 20 or something like that.
Let me see.
Somewhere up in there.
Yeah.
I think a great pick for them. Not Shador, and it's not Cam Ward. It's Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart would be great in Pittsburgh. That's my personal opinion.
I don't know, man. Lane Kiffin is a really good coach and play caller, but the system is mad simple. Steelers pick at number 21.
21. Okay. So that means, Jackson Dart will definitely be available.
He should be.
Yeah, he'll definitely be available. I think Shadur and Cam Ward definitely go much before then. Shadur sliding a little bit in the draft. If you remember the chat, we're going to be having a members-only show, getting a little bit more detail about, our thoughts about that, a little thoughts about Aaron Rodgers and where the quarterback room is going to be. So I'm not going to dive into a lot of that on this NFL topic. But if you want to be a member, be sure to subscribe, become a member. We're going to be dropping that video for you guys. So stay tuned sometime this week. I think me and Bruce got it on the schedule for this week. But man, Steelers, I think Jackson Dart would be great for him, man. It starts the clock over. I think that, Jackson Dart, he has his legs. He can definitely throw. He can make tight window throws. He has a good arm on him. And the Steelers need something. Aaron Rodgers sitting on pins and needles. Now you know why we got rid of him. So we got rid of him. In running back news, let's pivot here. All right, running back news. Austin Gentry is the projected top running back in the draft. So I got a 2-part question here. One, do you think he goes in the top 5, let alone top 10 in the NFL draft? And what do you guys think of the market now about running backs now that Saquon Barkley has shattered an NFL record? 2, Derrick Henry being 30 plus years old, still running like Derrick Henry as he was 25 years old. So what are your takes on Austin Gentry and his spot? And what is your take on the NFL market for running backs now that these 2 running backs from last year did what they did?
Great question. I'm gonna pass this to G, but before I do, let me give the draft order for the top 10, as you mentioned. So we start Tennessee, Cleveland, the Giants, the Patriots, the Jags, the Raiders, the Jets, the Panthers, the Saints, and the Bears. So G, let's go with you, man. What do you think about? Do you think Austin Gentry goes top 10, or do you think they kind of go back to the conventional wisdom of you don't take running backs that high?
Yeah, I don't know. I know previously I said, you definitely pick him up because that's a generational talent.
I think
you don't let something like that just go. The way he was able to break all those records, break that record and just rock out, you definitely pick him up. I think he's because it's a softer league, and we saying like what happens with Saquon. If he play anything like Saquon, right, that's a game changer. He took Philly from nothing to something, like took all the pressure off of
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. So I don't know if teams looking at that, right? But if I was a GM, I would definitely pick him up. I make sure he go through the proper test and make sure he's not hurt or nothing. But he looked like he take care of himself, man. Like that's a monster.
Yeah.
That's an offensive force coming out the backfield. You got to pick that one up.
Transformer. You know what? I was gonna say no, but looking at this, yes, he's gonna go in the top 10, and I'll tell you where he's gonna go. He's gonna go number 6 to the Raiders.
I looked at that too.
Yes, because that is what Pete Carroll wants to do. He's got his guy Geno Smith, knows his system. He's gonna want to say again.
Beast mode.
Obviously, he's not as physically big as beast mode. I think he's only like 5'8", but Pete Carroll's gonna want to run the football. He's gonna want to pound the rock, and then of course play off the play action. Geno Smith statistically is one of the best play action quarterbacks in the league. I was just listening to something about that the other day, but I think that's a perfect fit for what Pete Carroll wants to do. And you're in the AFC West, you got to be able to run that thing. So, I like it. And I think he does go 6 to the Raiders because they have a quarterback now. If they didn't have a quarterback, then we would have a different situation. But I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bruce. I looked at it like the same way you looked at it. Geno Smith, and you got one hell of a weapon in Brock Bowers. Hell of a weapon in Brock Bowers. So I think definitely for Pete Carroll, being your first year in Las Vegas, excuse me, being your first year in Las Vegas, Gentry would be a piece you would want to add to a trifecta of an offense. You got a quarterback, you got a dominant tight end. Now let's get you a running back to open it up more for Geno Smith and what he can do to Brock Bowers. I think that's going to be a perfect fit for him. So I definitely see him going at the Raiders. Don't like the Jets. Don't like Carolina.
The Jets, their running back room full. So
Saints already got a running back. Bears, they got a running back. Jaguars, they definitely not going to go running back. They definitely need to go defense. They definitely need to go defense.
What they do, but anyway,
they definitely need to go defense. But the Oakland, Jesus, the Las Vegas Raiders, they definitely would benefit from a tight end, man. They definitely should.
No, the Raiders benefit from a running back. They got the tight end. You said they benefit from a tight end. They got Bowers already.
You know what I meant. Running back. Wow. They'll benefit from a running back to open up for the tight end. There you go.
I agree.
Yeah.
That was a great question. I like that.
No, man. Absolutely, man. We try to hit you with the good questions, man. It's the NFL. I want to talk the NFL, man. I want to talk the NFL.
Absolutely. So question for you, man. You mentioned it earlier very briefly. Shedeur Sanders sliding, man. What is the deal with that? Where do you think he ends up? How far do you think he slides? Because remember, at one point we're a question, but unless you draft him to the Raiders and let him sit for a year or two, which is an option.
I think he slides. Why? Because Deion wants him to slide. I think they want to slide.
That's an interesting. So he goes somewhere better.
Exactly. I don't think that neither Deion nor Shedeur is looking at the Tennessee Titans, New York, or even the Cleveland Browns as a team that they want to be a part of. Cleveland Browns, we already know the travesty they've been going through for the last 30 years. Tennessee, they don't know how to breed quarterbacks. They don't know how to breed quarterbacks.
What's going on there?
Yeah, so like they get decent enough quarterbacks, and I think they don't put them in positions to where they can look good, or you don't play to the strengths of your quarterback. For small sample size here, we got not Will Levis. What was the other guy they had? Plays for Green Bay. He's our backup. But anyway, played for the Titans for about 3 seasons, and immediately came to us as a backup. We got him as a trade.
Brother from Louisville. That's right.
Yeah, I can't remember his name off the top of my dome. But
yeah. And
he came in, and we literally put him in a system that benefited him. Run the ball, run play action. He passed about 15, 18 times a game, and he was able to make his throws because everything opened up for him. And on times that he needed to, he could scramble and use his legs. He won more games as a starter just purely off of that, right? Being a great talent and utilizing the strength. So shout out to LaFleur for just putting him in that position. Tennessee isn't doing that. They rolled the coattails of Derrick Henry for all these years. So they're like, okay, cool. They got rid of Derrick Henry. They let go of the Super Bowl receiver that plays in Philly right now, AJ Brown. Tried to get Trayvon Burke in there and tried to replenish what they lost, but they don't know how to breed quarterbacks. The quarterback system sucks, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think he wants to go there. But for Shedeur, I definitely think he slides to a team, one that is a little bit more complete. At least got an offensive line because, like I said, the man's been getting beat down for like the last 2 years in Colorado, having no offensive line. So I think you put him with a team that has a great offensive line and a great run game. That should be paramount. The receivers, I wouldn't really worry about right now because you can address that later, but at least get him on a team that has an offensive line for him. So I think that's more of Deion behind the scenes. Like, hey man, let's talk about him sliding. Now let's talk about these teams not wanting Shedeur, because nothing changed from the last snap of the NCAA season to the draft, and we're having talks about him sliding all of a sudden. Like nothing happened. No pro day has happened. Nothing has happened for that talk to be had. I think there's more Deion and them like, yo, we don't want to play for neither one of them. So we're gonna Eli Manning this thing. All right.
Maybe
we ain't coming to y'all. We need to we gonna slide. We're gonna slide down. So
I would really love to see him in New York, man, but looks unlikely now. New York got Russell Wilson and
Jameis Winston.
Jameis eating W's. Yeah. So that would be interesting. G, you got any thoughts on Shedeur and what's going on there?
I like to see it. I like it. All the antics and the talks of him sliding. He keeping his name in the news. So he's staying relevant. You hear more about him than you do any other quarterback.
That's a fact.
Positive or negative. So that tells me he'd probably be the first to go.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think they said Tennessee's pretty much sold on
Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they literally shut down all other meetings. Like they shut down the meeting with Shedeur.
There you go.
It was like, we don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if he does slide, I'm looking at some teams that are later on in the draft that are going to need a quarterback. I think the Colts hit the reset button if they can get him. I think the Colts definitely hit the reset button They don't like Anthony Richardson over there. I said it before the draft, before the NCAA season ended. Anthony Richardson isn't a great quarterback. He's a great athlete.
Yes, that's
correct.
There's
a difference. The man had a 46% completion percentage in the NFL.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
A big problem is he just didn't start enough games in college. I think that's a huge part of it.
The experience mattered, and then you threw him right at the starting position, and pretty much derailed what he has for his career. And I think Anthony Richardson was smart. He went into the combine and he just showed pure athleticism. He has a cannon for an arm, so he's like, I got a cannon and I can scramble and I can move. If I can show out in the combine, I can get drafted high, secure my bag, and let the chips fall where they may fall from there on out. But I think the Colts would definitely like Shedeur Sanders. They got an offensive line, they got a running back in Jonathan Taylor. All right, they got some good receivers. Alex Pierce is over there. I forget the other one's name on the other side. They got another good receiver over there. So they have a nice offense.
To take
the pressure off of Shedeur Sanders. Hey, hand that thing off, because now you got a running back. Hey, you got a run game now. Jonathan Taylor, take off, and I think that opens things up for Shedeur Sanders. I thought about the Saints, be honest with you, Tyler, but they got what's that kid's name? Rattler.
Oh yeah, Derek Carr and Spencer Rattler. Yep.
Yeah, they got Spencer Rattler. I think that's their next guy up.
I think so. I think he is, unless he knows he just simply is terrible. And we'll serve him in the preseason. But I think he's the next guy. They did some finagling with Derek Carr's contract, but if he can't make it happen, I think they have confidence in Rattler. That's a great point transformer. What's up, Tyler?
Wait, is this the Tyler that used to do the look up stuff for us?
Yeah.
Tyler, man, where the hell you been? You know how many times I shout your name out, bro?
Way off loss, man. He made it back. That's what's up.
Didn't he have a baby? Didn't you have a baby, Tyler?
He did have a baby. He had the baby last time. Last time he was on, the baby was new.
Gotcha. About killed me.
Oh my goodness.
Hey man, good to know that you're still here, man. Hey, hope the baby's doing well. Hope the family's doing well for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome back to the Format Podcast.
Absolutely.
Right. All right. Well, we're gonna leave it there for the football, or you had something else to add, Transformer?
I had one more.
Bring it.
I wanted to ask both of you guys.
The
hot seat. Preseason hot seat. Who in the NFL, in your opinion, is on the hot seat from the start of the season and possibly may not finish the end of this season as far as a coach and or quarterback?
Oh man. Well, it can't be the Jags because their coach is brand new. Yeah.
And they just got a new GM.
Oh, Mike McDaniel and Tua. Because can Tua stay healthy is a problem. Obviously, again, this is no slight on him as a player. Last season, I was forced to admit what he means to that team because they were absolutely anemic when he wasn't there. So I get it. But Mike McDaniel, he's not getting it done. He's not a leader of men. He might be a schemer, but he's not a leader of men. When they got to play in the cold, they can't win. When they play good teams, they can't win. He's not the guy. So I definitely think Mike McDaniel and Tua are probably the main guys. Tua for health and Mike McDaniel as a coach. It's Sid Bubba. It's definitely not Dak because Jerry's not bright, and he's paid $1 million, and they have a brand new coach as well. Mike Tomlin, negative, Nino. See, here's the problem with Tomlin, and I shouldn't say the problem. Here's the problem with the Tomlin situation. Pittsburgh never truly gave him full autonomy to run his program. And he hasn't had a good quarterback since Roethlisberger. And Roethlisberger even stayed around like 3 years too long. So he's never really gotten that true, signal caller, that trigger puller. So if he has that guy, as much as I hate to say it, the Steelers would be a problem. So that is definitely not him. Dayball.
There we go.
Good one, Tyler. Yes.
There we go. That was mine.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah. I definitely had Dayball up there. I do like Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels is definitely going to be on the hot seat.
Yes, sir.
If them folks don't know how to play in the cold, man, like that's got to be a coaching issue. That's got to be a huge point of emphasis, because if you look at the top teams in the AFC, right? You look at the Buffalo Bills. Where do they play at?
Cold.
You look at the Baltimore Ravens. Where do they play at?
Cold.
Well, you look at Kansas City in that time. Where do they play at?
Cold.
You look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Where do they play at?
Cold.
Bro, you're going to have to travel to the cold.
Yeah. You're going to have to deal with that. Absolutely.
Unless you get the number 1 seed,
right,
you're going to go in the cold.
That's not going to happen. And I'll tell you what, I think that New England, I know we're far off from picking the divisions and all that, but I think New England they're going to be the second best team in the AFC East. So, yeah.
I like that. Who's in that division?
It's Buffalo, New England, the Jets, and Miami. Miami might finish dead last in the damn division this year. Yeah, I think it's over for Mike McDaniels, man.
Yeah. I mean, they got a prolific offense. I
think.
Yeah, I do like their offense, but again, that scheme goes cold in the cold.
Exactly.
It goes cold in the cold. Right. So honestly, that's a huge issue. When you look at it from a locker room perspective, you know, I'm pretty sure they're seeing this stat every time they got to play somebody in the cold during the season.
Yeah, they know. Like, and it also doesn't help that your quarterback, who as good as he is for your system, he's never been in the cold his entire life. From Hawaii to Alabama to Miami. Not good. That's not going to get it done.
Especially when you're injury prone. Because that cold hurts worse when you're injury prone.
Yeah. And you're right, Laker Nation. Yeah. Even before McDaniels, they just they can't figure that out. And I don't know what you do about it if you're Miami. Because it's not like, I don't know, maybe you start trying to, I don't know.
I would tell them to get an ice ring and put the turf on the ice rink to make it cold in there.
I mean,
somehow get it cold in there. Make this give them that element of, bro, it's cold. I gotta play.
Hey, yeah.
That should be their practice facility, man. It's like an ice rink. It's the ACs are on -30, and like they got to go out there and play because Buffalo is going to be snowing. Baltimore probably snowing. New England definitely snowing. You know, Cincinnati, like in the January, February time frame, that's the coldest month for all those teams. And you can't even beat Green Bay in November. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So I like the Mike McDaniels, but I had Dayball. I had Dayball for sure.
In fairness, Green Bay in November is like, you know,
a blizzard.
Everywhere else in January.
True.
Is
true, very true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I like what Tyler said. Dayball definitely on the hot seat. You know, 2 years, what was it? 2 years ago, him and what's that quarterback name? Daniels.
Yeah.
The one that they tried to get played.
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but that quarterback had that prolific season. Yeah, made the playoffs.
It wasn't even prolific though. He threw like 15 touchdown passes that year.
I'm talking for Dayball
in a game. Yeah,
I'm talking for Dayball. Like it was a prolific season for him.
Got you.
Yeah. Not the quarterback, because they paid him, and then you cut him in the very next season. Meanwhile, you let go of Saquon Barkley, who went and broke it.
Trying to think about the 49ers
and got a Super Bowl.
Man, they look like they're on a huge rebuild. I'm not sure what they're going to do. But I'll say this. The 49ers have the benefit of
they got
injuries.
What's my man's name? Shanahan is really good in his scheme of plugging guys in and making it work. It's just in the biggest of games, he tends to not get it done. And then the other thing is now we're going to see, because they do want to pay Brock Purdy. They're not going to give him $60 million, but they do want to pay him. And so now we're going to see what really happens when you got to pay this guy. So,
I think Shanahan's safe. I think he's good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one, he put that team in winning positions for multiple years in a row, got him into 2 Super Bowls during his tenure. They didn't win them, but that's better than not making the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how much further do you want to get? Yeah, I mean, of course you want to win it, but you look at last year, because I know a lot of Niner fans are looking at last year like, oh yeah, he on a hot seat. Come on, man, relax. Everybody's due one bad season. Look at your injuries you had. You lost you paid your receiver $30 million, and in the preseason he ends up getting hurt for the season. Deebo Samuel's not what he used to be. He's banged up, so he's not what he used to be. Christian McCaffrey was coming off of injury, ended up getting injured. He's out for most of the season. Your second string running back gets hurt. He's out for the season. So a lot of things went wrong for the 49ers last year. So if I'm a Niner fan, I'm not hitting the panic button about my coach, because I've seen what my coach can do. He took the last pick of the NFL draft, got to a Super Bowl and an NFC championship game. Got him to both. Right? So I'm like, nah, bump that. I think I'm good on my coach. I think he's a great coach. Just need to learn to win the big one, but he gets me to the big one, so I'm not upset about that.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
That was how many years ago?
What, the Super Bowl?
Yeah. It was like what,
3 years ago?
3 years ago. They played Kansas City.
Yeah.
And then the year prior to that, they lost against Philly, I believe.
Yeah.
In the NFC Championship, because that's when they lost Brock Purdy. Then they lost their second string quarterback. Then the third string quarterback.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I think they had McCaffrey at quarterback.
Yes, he was playing emergency quarterback.
Yeah, it was bad, bro. I'm looking at that game like, damn. like, bro, I think they had Josh Johnson. Like, he ended up getting hurt. I'm like, bro, they can't.
It's weird because like every team run into that injury bug, right? Like sometimes I think I remember the Ravens had the injury bug where we had like 14 people. Everybody was doing the ACL out and shit. Like we fired the strength coach and somebody else. I guess the team doctor or whatever. Fired all of them.
All your running backs one year.
Greg Roman.
Yeah. Like your new training staff.
Got rid of Greg Roman.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sneed. Yeah, we act like the 49ers are far. They're not. In my opinion, I mean, they did let a lot of things go this year that I think needed to go because, like Bruce said, you want to hit the reset button a little bit, but with the system and the style that Shanahan runs, that man can plug and play like the best of the best.
Yeah.
If you look at McCaffrey goes out, Jordan Mason has a 100-yard game, they win the game. Jordan Mason gets hurt, Geraldo, whatever his name is, comes in and has a 100-yard game.
Yeah.
It's like the man knows how to plug and play and put his players in positions to win the football game. They don't get blown out. They're in every football game. So you like that as a coach that can do that. Yeah. But that's all I got, man. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Again, appreciate the chat, man. You guys have been engaging in this topic, and we want to talk to NFL. We had to talk to NFL, man. We had to get that itch, Bruce.
Yeah, definitely. Guys,
it felt good, man. It felt good. I don't even we can end the show. You want to end the show?
We can end the show right now.
Yeah, we can end the show, man. Bump the rest of the topics, man. We just want to talk NFL and get it.
Oh, man. Let's do this. Let's take 2 calls on the NFL. We'll make them quick. Just a quick couple of calls on the NFL. If anybody wants to get their thoughts on that, and then we'll get right back to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, y'all know the number. Here it is on the screen, and of course, scrolling on the bottom. You should know the number by now, unless you're new. If you're new, you got an excuse.
Well, Nino, I'm a Green Bay fan and a Laker fan, man. So you got to rock both. Bop, bop, bop. See that, man?
No, man, we don't need all that.
See how the colors are clashing well together, Nino, man. Get right, bro. Style, bro.
Really? That's what it is.
Baltimore plays in Green Bay this year, don't they?
I believe so.
Y'all trying to go to Lambeau?
That's gonna be a belt ass situation.
Yeah, I know. I think y'all lose by 20 for sure.
That's funny.
Let me see. Is it there or is it be more?
We bring out the ugly gold.
No,
joints for y'all. Yeah. We bring out the ugly honey mustard and purple and spank y'all.
Oh my God!
What uniform is that?
The honey mustard with the purple jersey. You ain't see them joints? They ugly as shit.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't like that one. That's not.
What's the name of it? You know the name of it?
No, I don't know.
It's like alternate.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alternate.
Yeah, it's the one with the yellowish
Gold
trim.
and purple.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, not cool.
Let me see.
We don't know yet, Edward. That's a ways down the road, man. We'll find out.
Let's see, purple.
Color Rush unis. There you go.
Oh, it's called Color Rush?
Yeah, Color Rush uniform. Ravens Color Rush uniform.
Color Rush uniform.
All right. In the meantime, while you do that, let's go ahead and
They ugly.
yeah, I don't like
Tell me with the gold numbers.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Gold patch, gold numbers.
No, I ain't seen it with gold pants. Oh, that would be terrible.
Yeah, gold pants sounds ridiculous.
With the I think the purple pants with the gold trim down the side, and then the yeah. I haven't seen
not bad.
Yeah,
I mean, either way, it's gonna look ugly in Green Bay anyway.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, let's go.
Show up in all black.
You low key look like Minnesota Vikings on the low.
You don't want us to show up in all black. I'll tell you that.
We'd be burying a lot of Packers in Lambeau. Don't want that. Funerals. All right, y'all. We could go ahead and switch up to the next topic. This is interesting, right? So obviously, Mike Malone of the formerly of the Denver Nuggets got fired the other day, and that kind of got us thinking and talking and thinking regarding these NFL coaches getting fired at odd times, right? So you had, I guess, starting with last year, right? So the Pistons won only 14 games last year, and the Pistons fired Monty Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
They fired him
after one season
with like 60-something million still left on the contract.
65.
Yeah, there you go. Now I will say, in hindsight, that looks like a great move because JB Bickerstaff has these young fellas really balling in Detroit. They're going to be the 6th seed in the East, so shouts to them. But that was the first of the firings. Then we saw the Kings give. We saw the here we go. We saw the Kings give an extension to Mike Brown. 31 games into the season, they fire him. Then we see later in the season, about 2 weeks ago? Memphis fired their coach, Taylor Jenkins.
Yep.
They fire him. Like, what the hell is going on? Remember, because we talked about it on the show, like, why did this dude get fired so late in the year? Like, that's odd, especially with a team that's heading for the playoffs, right? And now we see Mike Malone formerly of the Denver Nuggets, who won a championship just 2 years ago with them. He got fired. And I'm like, okay, this is getting out of hand. So this is something that we definitely decided that we want to go ahead and, do some discussion on. I'll get you guys' thoughts. Then I have some sound from Rick Buecker, just about a little over 2 minutes on him discussing the Mike Malone thing. And then we'll kind of, we'll get back to it. So yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on this? We started with G last time. Let's start with Transformer.
Unless you're Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr, or Eric Spoelstra.
Facts.
Your job ain't safe.
Facts.
No matter what you've done, your job is not safe. 4 of the last 6 head coaches of the NBA that have won an NBA title have been fired from their team. 4 of the last 6 championship coaches have been fired from their last team. Joe Mazzulla just won it last year. Steve Kerr from 2 seasons ago. Nick Nurse for the Toronto Raptors won a championship in 2019. He won NBA Coach of the Year in 2020 and was fired in 2023.
Crazy.
3 years. That's all it took. He's out of there. Frank Vogel for the Los Angeles Lakers was won a championship in 2020. On April 21st, 2022, he was fired.
Well, we know what that's about. But go ahead.
2 years later. However, as a coach, he also signed to the Suns. 1 year later, fired. So,
crazy.
So that's Frank Vogel for you. Mike Budenholzer, Bucks.
Yep.
2021 championship. He was Coach of the Year in 2015, Coach of the Year in 2019, fired May 2023. 2 seasons after a championship.
Insane.
2 seasons. And of course, we got Mike Malone for the Denver Nuggets. Won a championship in 2023, fired 2025. There is no patience in NBA.
None.
There's no patience.
None. I think it's part of the reason these owners have more money than they've ever had before, so they can afford to fire a guy and still have him on the hook for that check while still cutting the check for the new guy. Yeah. I think it has to be part of it.
Monty Williams signed a $73.5 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
After one season, he was let go. He's owed $65 million to sit at home.
I'll sit at
home. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
If you pay me $65 million to not coach,
I'm in no rush to get a new job.
How y'all doing over there? Doing good?
Yeah.
I'm not. Hey, look. I'm not playing. I don't have to do anything. I'm not looking for a job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to do nothing, bro. I'm stress-free for 4 to 5 years, bro. And mind you, what Monty Williams is maybe late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah, I think he's in his 50s. Yeah.
Okay, so he's fairly young compared to previous head coaches. I mean, I know the coaches are getting younger and younger these days, but yeah, it's tough, man. And of course, we got Tyler Jenkins. You know, been the Memphis Grizzlies coach from 2019 to 2025, and he was fired. But what's killing me is that Mike Malone and Taylor Jenkins are fired right before the playoffs.
I don't get that. That's it's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so Memphis Grizzlies were a 3rd seed, roughly 4th by the time Taylor Jenkins gets fired. They're now 8th. They're 8th seed. So what are you doing, right? Mike Malone. Now it was rumblings, and I'm pretty sure Rick Bueckers is going to talk about it. Were rumblings about them trying to fire him before the championship run, but they end up winning the title, and you end up sticking it with him. I think it got something to do more with the ownership and Mike Malone. Some controversy there a little bit, but you know, just to up and fire him 2 weeks prior to the start of the playoffs, it's like, you know, what are you doing?
Right.
You know, what are you doing? So that's what I got on it, man. I mean, I'll dive more into it when I hear Rick Buecker what he has to say, but
yeah, now's the time you need continuity going into the most important stretch of the season, obviously with the playoffs. But man, what are your thoughts on this stuff? I think it's crazy.
First of all, I think Sam Cassell should definitely have be a head coach by now, man. This dude proven winner on every level, man. There's no reason for him not to have a head coach, not have a head coaching job. And so people constantly recycling the same trash in and out of their locker rooms, and this is what they're gonna get, man. There's some really good assistant coaches out there that they won't take chances on. And so what you're starting to see now is just people getting fired. That whole Denver firing was crazy, man.
Crazy.
Like that's like you just pissed the whole season away, possibly, man. Or you made it so that you don't need a head coach. Because what if they win a chip without one? Like I don't know who's acting head coach now or whatever, but that just seemed like it was. It seemed like it was like a pissing contest in the locker room. It was like, you know what I mean? Like how dare you talk to my players like that? What have you? But
now I hear also it was I'm hearing rumblings about players didn't like how he was favoring Russell Westbrook.
I heard that as well. But is that also Russell Westbrook is an easy and convenient scapegoat because he's been playing well in Denver for the most part?
That's the same thing Darvin Ham said, right?
Now, I don't think it's due to bad play. It's due to treatment of how he treated Russell Westbrook in a good way, because apparently, you know, Mike Malone respect that he was top 75 player of all time. So he was treated like you are top 75 player of all time. So I'm gonna give you that reign of you got a hard work ethic no matter where you go. You play hard from start to finish. Yes, you have some bad turnovers here or there, bad shots, but your hustle is what I want on this team. So apparently from top to bottom, they're like, hey, y'all from Jokic and my other guy, like, yo, this man never won anything. Why is he getting all this love and this attention when we just won a championship 2 years ago?
Snowflake era.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like it sounded like he was coaching, right? That's what it sounded like. He was coaching a player. He was coaching a player that was probably in a slump. He's been in a slump his whole life, but you never know, man. Like you don't know what happened behind these closed doors, man. They only gonna tell us what's leaked, but
right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have more after Rick
Yeah, let's hear what he has to say. Obviously, he did a whole show on it, but I wasn't gonna. So I just grabbed about less than 2.5 minutes on it, just so we can kind of get a feel for what he had to say. So let's check that out.
Yep.
The question we're all asking is why the Nuggets fired Malone now, and it's really not the right question. The question is why didn't they do it sooner? Because as I said, trust me, they've been thinking about it for quite some time, going all the way back to his appearance at the championship parade where he was clearly inebriated. And I can just tell you that raised some eyebrows around the league. We've had coaches and players celebrating championships, and they're obviously downing alcoholic beverages in celebration, and nobody finds anything all that wrong with it. But Malone took the microphone and was saying a lot of things where it was clear he was drunk. There's just no way around it. And what I know of Stan Kroenke is that he's a pretty tight-laced dude. And there was other people around the league that took notice, and some eyebrows certainly were raised. It's one thing for Rob Gronkowski or even J.R. Smith to be plowed at a public event, but it's another for a head coach, and then to demonstrate that at the podium. And then this year, talk of Malone getting the axe bubbled up again in January with the Nuggets at 19-14 and sitting in 5th in the West. But they then went on a 17-5 mid-season tear, and they jumped up into that number 2 spot and had the look of a title contending team. And so everything quieted down again. It didn't change anything in terms of the dynamics within the organization, but winning does cure almost everything. In any case, now the Kroenkes, after watching the Nuggets go 8-11 since the start of March, including a current 4-game losing streak, to slip from the 2nd seed in the West to the 4th, and potentially now sliding all the way into the play-in tournament, depending on how they finish out the season, they decided that if they didn't make a move, they might as well write off this season right now. I know from the outside, nobody is seeing the Nuggets that way, but I can tell you within the organization, which the way they've gone since the start of March and the dynamics between Malone and the players, they're reading the writing on the wall and saying, we're not going anywhere.
Man, okay. So, I didn't even cut the part where he was getting into a bit about, what was going on with the GM, and then, Mike Malone also saying he had some really hard comments about guys not playing with pride and guys watching tape and whatnot. And I guess maybe there's something to be said for keeping stuff in-house, but Mike Malone clearly is more of an old school guy who's going to tell it how it is. This is, I don't know, man. I guess if you're Kroenke, and obviously he doesn't technically own the team, but he's got a lot of involvement. His son owns the team, but I think that's only a function of, by NFL rules, I don't think you can own 2 franchises at the same time. So Josh Kroenke, I think that whole thing just had a lot to do with, one, you heard what Rick Bueckers said. He did not like his coach being basically sloshed, at the parade. And I can respect that, as somebody who doesn't drink. I'm always leery when people are just, it is one thing if you have a drink, but I'm always leery when people are out there publicly just drunk. It's not a good look. So especially when representing my organization, right? So you got that, and then now you're putting team business in the street, so to speak. And so I guess I don't know, man. I think maybe
it's an excuse.
Yeah.
But that ain't have shit to do with that man being drunk.
You know what I would have done, though, in all honesty? I guess it had to get really bad behind the scenes, because I would have tried to hold out and see what type of playoff run they could have made. Yeah. Then I would have pulled them into the office look, you better get right or you out of here. Because what if you went on a run and just hypothetically they won another chip? You know how much money that makes you as an owner. And, I just don't. I get what Bueckers saying, what took so long, but I would have, once I'm here, 3 games from the end of the season, I would just let it run through the playoff run. But that's me.
That's bad fucking business for the league, man.
I think it is, G.
Bad business for the league, man. There's no way. Now you tanking. Now y'all tanking. There's a tank now. Now y'all tanking.
That's the question we're all asking.
My bad. Yeah, go ahead, G. I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it does look like a tank job.
Yeah. Yeah. What are we? 75? What's 76 years in the NBA?
What's what?
Right? It's been 76 years since the NBA.
Yeah.
Okay, 76 years. So that means it's been 75 parades.
Yes.
A lot of drinking,
Yeah.
a lot of celebrating during the parade.
Mm-hmm.
Denver, come up with a better damn excuse for you firing coach.
Man, that's crazy.
Come up with a better excuse, because unless you're telling us something that we don't know, it's not because he was drunk. It's something he did either when he was drunk, or again, you just using that as a, oh, we don't want our franchise looking like that. Stop the cap.
The last time they won.
Exactly.
Never,
right?
Never won a championship.
Bring you a ring. Man, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
you know what? To that point, though, if that was a concern, they shouldn't have given him the mic, right? Whoever was the PR person that was there, owner ain't going.
The owner's standing right there.
Yeah, don't give him the mic, because you already see he's, he's sauced up. So don't give him the mic.
First thing out his mouth, fuck the Lakers. I'm like, damn, hold up.
Well,
y'all didn't beat us in the championship game. Y'all beat Miami. Whoa. We caught a stray bullet at the parade. Bro, y'all didn't play us in the championship.
That's okay.
Man said, fuck the Lakers. Like, hey, I
like to hear that.
What you do? Mike Malone and his hate for the Lakers was crazy, bro. It was like, you would have thought he played for the Celtics during the Bird era. He's upset with Magic. He don't like Kareem.
Right.
He don't like nobody in purple and gold, because they was on our ass back there. We didn't tolerate it. You know what I mean? So yeah, hey, Horizon vibes, man. Trev, they beat the number 8 seed Miami and had the Lakers on their mind.
Speak, right? You heard when Magic went on Speak maybe 4 or 6 months ago, and he was talking to Paul Pierce, and he was like, man, listen, I hate the Celtics. I hate Paul. I hated you when you played for him. Like, he said that to Paul Pierce.
And Pierce was like,
he's like, I get it.
I got it.
I hated you till you took that green off.
So I get it. I get it, man. Like, and I think that's what the ultimate hate for Rondo is.
Yeah.
For Paul Pierce and them, because they like, bro,
how could you?
Do you know how big? Yeah. Like, this ain't no Ray Allen type move. This is worse.
Yes.
You went to our known rival.
Them. Yeah.
Like, you could have went to Denver, Sacramento, San Antonio, but you could have went anywhere else. You could have went to 30 other teams.
And then you want to chip with them? Nah.
And got the nerve to sit in the middle of the floor with Kobe's on? Boy, you full-blown Laker. As a Boston Celtic, he gets to say, as a starter, I won a championship with Boston. Yeah, I won a championship with LA. Hall of Fame. Just off of pure assholism.
Right.
Like, both.
You're right, though. You're right.
Because
man.
At his retirement ceremony, this is what's going to be cool.
What's up, Woodage?
At his not retirement ceremony, but Hall of Fame induction or whatever.
And he'll probably make it in.
I want to see who shows up, who gets to talk, because he had most of his career as a Celtic, but then he also won with LA. So it's like, is it going to be like Laker players going to get up, say something?
What would he go in as?
Oh, I believe a Celtic. I think it'd be right if he's a Celtic, because you spent most of your career with him. Granted, you won with both, but you're known in your prime as a Celtic.
Yeah, but
so that's gonna be tough, man. But anyway, that notion is done. But but yeah, that whole Mike Malone did not get fired because he was drunk. 75 years, we've seen players, coaches, staff members just get plastered because your team just won the ultimate trophy, the ultimate prize in the league, right? We win the ultimate prize. Of course, you can go out there and celebrate. Boom, man, go out there. We've never won. Now, if this happened in LA or something like that, granted, we still won't care that you're drunk, but okay, we won a bunch of titles, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just another one onto the belt. This is our first one.
Yeah.
I'm the coach that get to say, I brought Denver their first title.
First and only
title with a guy who didn't even get drafted in the first round as my star.
I think you find him. There's a lot of things you would do before you would fire a coach going into the playoffs. Find them, suspend, shit like that. Like to fire your head coach that already got you. It don't sound right, bro. Like it don't.
I guess the question then, G, is did they at any point pull him into the office and give him that counseling? You know what I mean? Like, you know.
But rumors has it they wanted to fire him before that run anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So this was more, like I said, this is an excuse. You build up a report to be like, okay, cool. We have to find a reason why we want to get rid of this guy. You know what I mean? Okay, all right. He was drunk he was drunk at the parade, wasn't he? Okay, cool.
He was drunk at
Put that on the list. You know what I'm saying? Put that on the list. Oh, we getting player feedback that he favoring Westbrook. Okay, put that on there. All right, we're going through a bad run. Jokic said he don't like the way we playing defense, even though he's the worst defender on the floor. Oh,
I mean, if you're a Lakers fan,
that on there.
If you're a Lakers fan, this shit, you love this shit right here.
Oh yeah.
You love this right here.
Mike Malone,
Christmas in July.
At a parade where he didn't even beat us to win it. He beat us in the playoffs, yes. But you just beat Miami, bro.
Yeah.
In the first word, he like, fuck the Lakers. We made it. Like, what? What we do? What do we do? Of course we're happy that you're gone, bro. Because you see how that happened? You say F us 2 years later, you out of a job. The Lakers are still here, baby.
Job. Believe that.
You out of a job. But no, man. In all fairness, man, I just totally disagree with the Mike Malone situation. Man. It's just bad. He quiet as kept. I mean, not quiet as kept, but even though he talks crap about us, and I dislike every time he opens his mouth about us, he's a great coach.
Right.
Got you a Super Bowl, NFL. Got you a Lombardi. Jesus Christ, Larry O'Brien. He got you a Larry O'Brien. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, that's just bad.
I agree. I just so one of the other things Bueckers said, you know, during this podcast episode was that he felt like Mike Malone, excuse me, knew what was coming, but he felt like he had enough time to try and, you know, throw the proverbial Hail Mary and make a run in the playoffs. And they got to him before he could do that. So
yeah. No, it's bad, man. I mean, it's nothing else more to it.
Tyler, oh man, I hope not. Jesus Christ. Oh man.
The only one that'll be accepted is the South Carolina. What's her name?
Dawn Staley.
Dawn Staley.
Nah, man, I don't know.
That'll be the only one.
It's different, man. It's different.
Because she's a true asshole as a coach.
Yeah, she is, but no. We're not doing that. All right.
Please don't delete that comment before Steve see it.
You know how Steve get down. Becky Hammond, yeah. She is who's she coaching? She's not coaching is she coaching the Aces?
Who?
Becky Hammond. She's coaching in the WNBA now. Thought she was coaching the Aces. Not sure. Anyway.
I don't know. I can't remember.
There you go.
Was she Plum's coach? Okay, she was Plum's coach. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. So we can go ahead and open up these phone lines now. I want to hear what y'all guys say about this stuff, man. About these firings. Mike Malone, Taylor Jenkins, Mike Brown earlier this year. All the coaches that have been fired quickly after winning championships. You know the number. Call in. Let's hear what you guys say. We'll take a couple of calls on this, and then we'll move right along.
There's no patience, man. You got 2 years to get us back to the title after you win one. That's how it's looking, right? Because all these coaches are being fired within the first 3 years of them just winning a title.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if I got you there as a coach, right? You don't trust me enough to get stuff together and get you guys back to it?
No.
Especially if we're consistently in the playoffs. Now, if we went from Super Bowl to, we went to championship to bottom feeders like the reverse Detroit Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Yeah. Laker Nation, what's good, man? How you doing?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, sir.
Laker Nation.
What's good?
What's happening?
I just called in to say I 100% agree with the Mike Malone firing as a Laker. He got what the hell he deserved, and we got the last laugh, and we the third seed, and he's unemployed. so fuck Mike Malone.
Okay.
Hey, man.
That sounds like a.
He did it to us. He kicked us while we was down. We get to kick him back. Kick him.
Be bigger than that, man.
All right, I would take my Laker fan hat off and then put the objective. Hey, but this is crazy work, man. It's like I have never seen a league that fire coaches for doing their job, man. This is getting ridiculous.
It's a players' league, man.
The last Transformer went through the last firing. These are all coaches that were successful.
Mm-hmm.
And they out of a job like a year or two later. This is like crazy work. At least the NFL gives you a chance to try to
do something.
The NFL saying about coaches that need to go and they still around. At least the NFL lets you try to redeem yourself when you have a down year. NFL, NBA, like fuck it, no patience.
The NFL, they'll literally wait until the ship implodes before they fire their coach.
Yeah, they give you a little more room.
Yeah, they wait until it implodes.
Yeah, NBA is like a dynamite with a short fuse. You like that shit, it's gonna explode in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't give it, they don't care. But so unless you establish yourself, like no job, nobody's job, no player's job, nobody's job in the NBA is safe.
No.
Whether it's a ref, whether you a ref, whether you a cameraman, whether you a head coach, whether you a star player. That might be a subject for another day, like what the message the NBA is trying to send to everybody.
Yeah, we own it. We're the billionaires. We got the money. We dictate what we want to do. Corporate America, man. That's corporate America at its finest right there. We pay y'all.
Facts.
We run this.
I haven't seen the year. This is you guys can tell me if I'm wrong because I'm just going off memory right now. But I haven't seen a year that's as crazy as much movement and firings as this year has been.
No, I don't think I
like with the Luka trade and now Mike Malone being fired and then the dude from Memphis getting fired and it's crazy. This year's been crazy.
I've never seen it at the end of the season with playoff teams. Like you see it with bottom feeders. You know what I mean? Like, teams that didn't make the playoffs, they got great pieces, but they still can't figure out how to get it done. But never like playoff contenders. Like we had Denver as a contender this year. Memphis, they're trying to, get their spark back from Ja Morant, being gone for the last couple of seasons, whether it's due to suspension, whether it's due to injury. But, these guys are a contender. They're in the playoffs. We have them as a playoff team, and you fired both of them, right? Never seen that happen before. I think that's the first time for me.
Yeah, that is crazy. But on a side note, and then I'll get off the line. I don't know if you guys have ever played NBA 2K, but Taylor Jenkins is like a auto-generated NBA 2K coach.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I went over y'all head because y'all don't play 2K.
I'm the only one that played 2K. I didn't play last year, but I played previous years prior.
Yeah, you know what? Then you get the joke because he do look like one of those auto-generated NBA 2K coaches. I didn't think he was a real person, so I saw him on TV. And I was like, what? But salute. I'm waiting for the next topic, and of course the last one. I'm enjoying the show, and
appreciate it.
I'll get off so we can keep the show moving.
All right, man.
Absolutely, brother.
All right, brother. Thanks for the call, man. Have a great one.
Speaking of head coaches, Chauncey Billups just signed an extension with the Trailblazers and a multi-year deal amid a 35-46 season. Details on the contract, I do not see them yet, but he has an extension with the Trailblazers.
Hey, well, congrats to him because they're struggling. Sneed, what's going on, my brother? How are you?
What's up, guys? How we doing today?
Doing well, sir. Yourself?
Sneed.
Thanks for taking the call. What's up, Transformer? How are you, man?
Crack-a-lackin', man. I'm good, brother. How about you?
All right, man. G, what up?
Steve, what's going on, brother?
Chilling, man. Sundays, you know. So the call that just came in, who was that? Laker Nation?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he was talking about like the coaching situation.
Yep.
So that's actually on the Denver Nuggets. The problem with the firing is really just the timing. It's not the firing itself. If you don't believe you can move forward with a coach and a GM, or a coach or a GM, whatever the change has to be done, that's just on the ownership group for making the decision 4 games before the playoffs start.
Yeah.
That decision was supposed to have been made in the beginning of the year. It probably should have been made at the end of last year, once they got bounced out of the playoffs or whatever, whenever the season ended.
Right.
So if you're looking at dysfunction, you can blame the GM if you want to. You can blame the coach if you want to. But accountability always falls on leadership because they're the ones making final decisions. So if anything, the only real problem is Josh and Zach. Is it Kroenke? Is that how they pronounce it?
Yes, Kroenke.
The ownership group? Yeah. It's on them. Now, the problem is you have now Michael Malone's going to have a hard time finding a job because they're going to say this guy is a problem. He can't get along with folks.
Yeah.
He's going to get the Mark Jackson treatment. And then, secondly, you're trying to keep Joker because you know damn well you're not going to get another player like that for 30 years. You can't let him go and think, okay, well, this is how this organization is. So you have to let him feel empowered, right? So he cleared it, you know, whatever. You know, people speculate that he was part of the reason why Michael Malone got fired. It's pretty clear that things were bad between those two guys, the GM and the coach. But the timing itself, that's on the ownership group. Bruce just mentioned that it's a players' league. That's on the ownership group too. If you want to be a player-friendly team, or if you want to be an organizational success-based team, like the Miami Heat or something of that nature, right? Or like the Spurs, for example. You can play it whatever way you want, but there's no guarantee for success, and people drop the ball, and people make decisions. It doesn't really matter. You can have great philosophies, and then execution doesn't pan out. You know, there's coaches like Michael Malone. He was talking about defense. He wants guys to defend and all that. He's doing that. And then they're talking about how the defense sucked. But he's been saying that. And I just did a film breakdown on my YouTube channel. I broke down Joker's defense. I broke down bro, really the problem's not just Joker. The way they play the pick and roll, nobody really fights through screens properly. There's a lot of stuff that's dysfunctional with the defense.
That's modern
basketball. You know, that you could point to. But I'm just saying, like, that whole situation reeks of Michael Malone should have been gone earlier. It's just hard to fire a guy that's been winning.
That's exactly what.
Yeah, because how would you look to the NBA, the rest of the league, and the rest of the coaches and free agents? Like, what the hell? They just won one. But if you're sure of what you're doing, if you're sure of your direction, you'll do whatever it takes to get to your destination. I just think there was a lot of fear by the ownership group to look stupid, and they ended up actually looking stupider than they could have, in my estimation. They should have let Michael Malone go earlier if the end game was to move on from him anyway. Just my 2 cents. Thanks for taking the call, guys.
No doubt.
Thank you.
Thanks for the
absolutely.
That's a good call by Sneed. The other thing I'll say, just in response to the bad defense is not all on Jokic. No, it's not all on Jokic, but I'm really trying to think how many championship level teams have we seen or championship teams have we seen where their absolute best player is that apathetic defensively? I'm really trying to like run back through my mind here. It's
not many.
Right. So like, and my thing with Jokic again, I don't expect him to be Dream or Mutombo or Zoe or anything like that. I get it. Just want him to try. Just want him to try, and he doesn't. But it is what it is.
Dirk Nowitzki, I guess. That's a good one. But he wasn't MVP. He never won MVP.
Tried a little bit.
Yeah, he never
don't
won
think
MVP.
so, Sneed? I think he is, man.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Hakeem, but no one expects him to be.
Yeah. This is what happens, and I think this is part of why the GM got fired, because now you're a bad defensive team, period. Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you get rid of KCP and Bruce Bowen. Not Bruce Bowen, Bruce Brown.
Yes. You know
what I mean? Like those two were your your wing defenders.
Green too.
And they can spark from three. So now you not only had offense with them, but you primarily had defense because they knew how to guard your wings, right? And you got rid of them. And like Michael Porter Jr., he's not a defender. He's long, he's lengthy, but he's not necessarily your strapper up on defense. Jamal Murray don't play defense. You know what I mean? Jokic don't play defense. So when you have so many non-defenders on your team and in your rotation, you're not even bringing a defender on the court, of course your defense is going to be bad. You just got rid of your two defenders that you just won the championship with. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. All right. Good topic there, guys. Good topic. So let's go ahead and we will take it to the next one. Bad defenders take chances to get torched. Bad defenders don't hustle back. Joker isn't. Okay, Sneak. We'll have that discussion another time. We might have to actually make that a topic because I've seen terrible things from that dude defensively. But
he gets cooked though.
It's not even about getting cooked. It's like I've seen so many times the dude don't even try. Like just literally just watches people do what they're gonna do.
So especially if it's a drive to the basket, Jokic ain't challenging none of that.
I can't abide that. I can't. Yeah. All right. Okay, so we're now going to get to the main topic of this show. We're going to talk about some what we got.
Time out. Steve, go ahead and log off. Go ahead and log off, Steve. We don't need you here, brother. We'll hold it down. We'll call you when we on the fourth topic. But Steve, you good to go, bro. I appreciate you.
Thanks for tuning in. Nah, we don't have to worry about Steve, man. His Caitlin is his boo, so we'll be all right. All right, guys. So this was interesting. We saw that Caitlin Clark, obviously biggest name in women's basketball, right? Far from the best player in women's basketball, but the biggest name in women's basketball. So we saw last year, obviously, she basically erupted on the WNBA, had a heck of a season, rookie of the year, set a bunch of records, won awards, blah, blah, blah. Cool. But we heard all year long that, come on, Steve. We heard all year long that, the women in the WNBA are hating on her, blah, blah, blah. They're playing her too tough, this, that, and the third. It was a whole lot of stuff. And then we heard, of course, we're in America, so the racial piece gets involved. Oh, people, they like her and give her extra credit because she's white. I'm like, okay. So Caitlin Clark is clearly a needle mover, right? She's, as me and G says, she's American Pie, right, G?
American Pie is crazy work. American Pie is crazy work, yo.
But
we got to do better as a damn unit, man. This is crazy work. That's something Steve should say.
but no. But anyway, there have been different commentary, a lot of it towards the racial piece, as if she can't play and that she only gets love, for being white, right? So what made me come up with this, obviously we saw University of Connecticut win the national championship, last week, right? And 2 weeks already?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to talk about
the Florida national championship was last week. The women's was 2 weeks.
That was last Monday. So Sunday the women played. But anyway, not the point. But the point was we were supposed to discuss this. And what really kind of stood out to me on this particular topic is that Paige Bueckers, who was supposed to be Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark, she was the #1 high school recruit, ended up going to UConn, had a heck of a career there, but also blew out a knee. So we missed some of the fantastic movie series, Chief. But does she? I think I heard that too. But anyway, that's not the point. So yeah, where was I? yo, man, y'all wilding.
You got Bruce. Eyes on me. Eyes on me.
Bro, focus, bro.
Eyes on me, because you're getting lost in the chat. Eyes on me.
Yeah.
Continue.
Chat. I'm not messing with it. Oh man, if you're watching this later, if y'all can see this chat. But anyway, no. So Paige Bueckers was the #1 high school recruit in the country. Goes to UConn. Following a long line of great women's players who played at Connecticut. And she ended up blowing out a knee there, so she missed some time. And during the time she was out was when Caitlin Clark really kind of exploded onto the scene as just, the incredible player that she was, right? So just super dynamic, pulling from anywhere, ends up becoming this right here. I think she had 49 points this game. That was the shot that made her the all-time leading scorer in history. And so, she just, And I mean, her whole collegiate highlight reel pretty much looks like that. And a lot of her professional highlight reel looks like that. Now, it took her some time to get going in the W, but I mean, clearly she is known for being, they talked about her as being the female Steph Curry, right? Because as we see, like, she loves to pull it off the dribble.
Female who?
Steph Curry.
Female who?
Steph Curry.
Who's Steph Curry?
One of the greatest shooters ever.
The greatest shooters of all time? The greatest shooter?
One of the greatest shooters ever.
The greatest shooter of all time?
One of the greatest shooters ever.
The greatest shooter of all time?
The most prolific shooter ever.
Okay, there you go. I like that. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So anyway, they kind of referred to her that way, as you saw from the highlight package there. She's bombs away from everywhere, and that's box office, right? That is something super exciting. That's dynamic. That moves the needle. People watch her to see where's she going to pull up from, how many logo threes is she going to hit, all of that, right? Cool. In the meantime, Paige Bueckers is grinding away, trying to do her thing. As a matter of fact, Caitlin Clark and Iowa beat Paige Bueckers and UConn in the Elite Eight last season en route to a championship game appearance, which Caitlin Clark played twice in the championship game and did not win either one. But the point where I'm moving towards here is the commentary that people love Caitlin Clark. A big part of her fandom is because she's white. So we'll get to that in a minute. But like when you watch Paige Bueckers play, she's a problem too. She can shoot the three. She can take it into the mid-range, knock it down. She's a good passer. Not quite the passer Caitlin Clark is. Probably a better defender than Caitlin Clark is, because you're not going to play for Gino Auriemma and don't play defense, right? So, you got that. She actually,
she busts Oklahoma ass, by the way.
Oh, she's a problem. She's a problem.
I think she gave him 40.
Yeah, 40, which I was about to bring up, is actually an all-time NCAA tournament high for a Connecticut women's player. Now, think about all the players that have played for UConn, right? Your Sue Birds, your Diana Taurasi, your Brianna Stewart, your Maya Moore, right? I mean, you got player after elite player after elite player who has gotten busy at UConn, and none of them have done what she's done. Now, she didn't win 4 championships or 4 most outstanding players or 3 championships, but she's won the National Player of the Year. Obviously, she's won Final Four, most outstanding player. She's a champion now, and she has a record for highest tournament scoring game. But the point I'm trying to make now, where I'm moving, is the numbers aren't the same, right? She's a white player. She's an elite white player at arguably, not arguably, Gino Auriemma has 12 national championships now. So the best program in history for women's college basketball. So she's all of that, but she doesn't move the needle the same way. So I take that to say, for all the people who are saying, well, they only like Caitlin Clark because she's white. Well, Paige Bueckers is white.
White as can be.
Right.
If I touch her, she turns red.
There you go. So why is she not moving the needle the same way, right? And before I get to you guys' thoughts on this, let's hear ESPN basketball analyst Monica McNutt and some comments that she made recently. Yes, Monica McNutt. Hey, I didn't name her that. But anyway,
I never heard her name pronounced.
Yeah, McNutt. Stupid.
Steve, shut up. Shut up, Steve.
I'm not opening the chat. I'm not opening the comments. I'm not doing it.
Shut
up, Steve. But no. What I wanted to do was play her recent comments, and then we'll get into you guys' thoughts on that. Hey, how you doing? And we will also give some stats that kind of prove that Caitlin Clark is that needle mover. But let's hear what Monica had to say here.
Covering the WNBA this past season, Caitlin Clark's rookie year, for all of the conversation that surrounded her, some which was fair and some which wasn't, the one thing that I cannot deny is the amount of little girls that were showing up to follow her, little girls with their parents, and the fervor and the energy there.
Why her?
Same thing.
Why her?
Well, I was just about to say same thing for Angel Reese when I had a chance to cover their games, but I think Caitlin represented. And again, some of this to me probably is not fair to her because it was not anything that she said or was truly based on her personality, but she was a white girl from the middle of America. And so she represented a whole lot to a lot of people, whether that is truly what she prescribed to or not. We can all say she is a dynamic basketball player and a force both on the court and the marketing sense. But I do think same thing with folks that may have fallen in love with Angel Reese that may or may not have agreed with everything they had to say either. We attach our fandom to these icons for all types of reasons, and sometimes they may not be based in all truth.
So she gave, in fairness, Monica McNutt gave credit to Caitlin for being a dynamic basketball player, a dynamic marketing target off the court. So she gave credit for that. But what really stood out to so many people and got so much engagement across social media, YouTube, etc., was the commentary that she's a white girl from Middle America. Now, if you know me, hearing me talk about sports and marketing, etc., if you know me talking even on this show, one thing I've always said is, if you want to get that money off the court, you should be more palatable to Middle America, right? And if, again, if we're real, what is people who identify demographically only as white in this country? I think it's 58% of the American populace. So we get it. Race always plays a role in America. It's just one of those things you can't get away from. But the amount of the role that it plays in this particular thing, I think is a lot smaller than people want to give it credit for. Because when you say, like so many have said, oh, she gets all this attention because she's white. Well, that's absurd and takes away from the fact that she goes out there and puts the work in, right? And she's put in even more so a ton of work this past off season, right? In terms of, I don't know if anybody's seen her, like you can see she looks a lot more ripped. She's been in the weight room trying to deal with the physicality of what she had to figure out how to deal with last year in terms of defense, etc. And so obviously she's been working on her game. There's a lot of Indiana Fever off-season workout tapes, not tapes, but videos that are out there that you can watch on YouTube, etc. So she's putting the work in. She's, again, an extremely dynamic player, a record-breaking, record-setting player, so on and so forth. So like, I find it so disingenuous to say, okay, well, she gets all this attention because she's white. Nah, I think it's because of her. So Transformer. Matter of fact, no, you started last time. G, go ahead, man. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, man, this is like somebody just threw a grenade in the room and shit. Mm-hmm. Right? I think the difference between the two, they both white. Yeah, they both highly talented scorers, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't think Paige had a villain. She didn't have an adversary. She didn't have that person that was doing this at the championship that ignited like a whole like us versus them. And they played two different positions, right? So like really when you see these little girls playing, you see these little girls that's like mimicking Caitlin, it's because she played guard and she's a shooter, right? And when you see young ladies or little girls mimicking how Angel Reese played, it's because that's the position that they play. I went to the CIAA, and all you saw was like that sleeve, the
leg sleeve. Okay.
The leg sleeve. That's all you saw. And all their bigs wore the leg sleeve. I think it was tremendous marketing by not only the WNBA for piggybacking off what the NCAA was able to do, but for Paige that that wasn't there for them. They had no way. This was more like when we talked about this. I like, man, this is like the Bird and Magic kind of thing when you know how that was able to push the league into a different perspective. And I think that's what you're saying now. That rivalry, it ignite viewership. People started watching. Like they watching more now. I just don't think Paige had that. She didn't have that villain. She didn't have that player that
right.
It was just I think she didn't have that push. Yeah. Nobody amplifying her games like they was Caitlin and Angel. And then it even went further when they got into the WNBA on that rookie season. Remember they was like, oh yeah. Absolutely. And that wasn't even close. That wasn't even close in my eyes. Yeah, it was rebounds and layups versus threes and assists. She had a lot of turnovers, but I think the biggest story here is Caitlin. You need a villain, right? Like you need some type of somebody you can play off of. And I think all those young ladies played off each other. Remember, Paige got hurt though. I think if Paige was in the mix, it would have been a different outcome.
Sophomore year, I believe. I think it was a sophomore year.
Yeah, she blew the knee out. Yeah. You know, I also think that, and you're right, Tyler, in all that you're saying there. And by the way, Paula Desmond, I don't know if I've seen you here before. Thank you for checking in. Really appreciate you. Appreciate your comment. Hit that like and subscribe on the channel. I'd appreciate it. Gee, you make a lot of great points there, man. I think what they were trying to do in terms of the case of Paige, they were hoping that they would get that. And I don't even know, she doesn't strike me as a villain at all, but they were trying to get that rivalry with her and from USC who blew her, Juju. They were trying to get that with her and Juju, but Juju blew her knee out early in the tournament, so they didn't get to meet up in the Elite Eight the way they were supposed to. So I think that they were trying to get that, but it didn't quite work out. But again, Juju doesn't even strike me as like the villain. I don't want to say that. Like I'm saying,
the villain was probably a bad choice of words, but you have to have
her foil, her adversary. I get it.
Yeah, you have to have adversaries, man. Like that. That just
that helped a lot.
Yeah, that pushed.
Paula, hey, real quick, Paula Desmond, don't you vote for Robin Hood? I think I know who that is.
Doesn't she what?
I think she works for Robin Hood. I think she's like the something in financing. But I think she's a big shot.
Like the Robin Hood?
Like the app, like the stock exchange. I think that's who that is.
Okay.
I mean, if that's you, Paula, hey, welcome to the channel. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I believe that's what it is. I knew I recognized that name.
No, okay. I didn't know who that was, but let me look her up. Yeah, check that out, man. But yeah, so
wow, it pops up immediately.
Hey, check out
head of payments and cryptocurrency at Robinhood.
Well, no. Listen, Miss Paula. We did lots of content on Stephen A. and LeBron, so we are fully aware of the drama in the NBA, and we also understood that the NBA loved said drama because it took a lot of attention away from the NFL at a time that the NFL would really be, I'm not going to say peaking, but getting a lot going into the draft. So we definitely agree with you and understand about the drama in the NBA. But getting back to it, like I said, I just felt like it was so lazy saying, oh, well, and I'm not saying anybody here said it or that you guys said it, but it was so lazy. Oh, she just gets all this attention because she's white. No, it is the way she plays. Now, does that play a small role? Yes. We can't, people identify with people who look like them or share things with them, right? So like Monica said, a lot of maybe little girls from the Midwest or these places say, oh, okay, wow, Caitlin, it's going to be a lot easier for them to identify with Caitlin Clark than A'ja Wilson, right? It is. So we get it. But the bigger portion of why she's so popular and why she's such a needle mover is her dynamic style of play. And if we're also real, this is what I wanted to bring up. Remember, Caitlin Clark said she grew up wanting to go play for Gino at UConn, right? And so now we heard Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird talk about it. And just watching UConn play, do we really believe that Caitlin Clark would have been as dynamic if she had played for UConn? She might have had the skill set, but Gino's not letting her come across half court and pull up from the logo. Gino Auriemma does not coach that way, and he does not allow any player, no matter how great they are, to play that way. And so maybe if she had ended up going there, we have a totally different vision of Caitlin Clark. She plays the game a different way, and she doesn't have the same level of.
She's definitely not averaging 30. I'll tell you that much.
Say again?
She's definitely not averaging 30. I'll tell you that much.
Correct. Yeah, Paula, you're right. The Kings did do Mike dirty. No, she would not have been averaging 30, right? We've seen, like we said, some of the all-time great women's basketball players in college play for UConn, and nobody puts up those kind of numbers. Now, of course, they have more 5-star recruits and all that, more talented players, so you get the ball around. But the general point is, like, Gino doesn't generally let one player get off like that. And so you wonder, if she had gone to UConn as she had wanted to, would Caitlin Clark be the same phenomenon? But the point is, she went to Iowa, she developed how she developed, she played how she played. All that helped to move. It was kind of like the perfect storm, like we talk about with Magic and Isaiah, right? Not Magic and Isaiah, Magic and Bird. So we see her and Reese, and they have their rivalry, and then they come into the league at the same time, and the rivalry continues. It's perfect. They're in the same division. Everything all works out. Now, it doesn't work out quite like Lakers Celtics, but you get the point. Everything works out. And so I'm like, we got to stop this. So let's see, where was I? I had the numbers on the difference, right? So just to point to it, right? Again, we do establish that Paige Bueckers is white, right? She's a white player.
Mm-hmm. Pale as shit. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just wanted to make sure I got that right. So
whiter than my teeth.
Okay, cool. So from 2025 to 2024, right? If we compare them in terms of the women's NCAA tournament, viewership in 2025 averaged 367,000 per game, a 21.7% drop from 2024. The final 4 games, right, averaged 3.9 million viewers, down 64% from 10.8 million viewers in 2024. Championship game, UConn versus South Carolina drew 8.4 to 8.5 million viewers, a 55% decrease from 18.9 million for the 2024 Iowa-South Carolina championship game. Now, I could go down the rest of the numbers, but I think you guys get the point. So I think it's also fair to say that color is not the deciding factor here. It's the dynamism of play. Am I right?
Correct.
I mean, I don't know. Listen, if somebody in the chat here wants to push back, or G's making that face, or if G wants to push back, I'd love to hear it. So let's I'll stop. I've been doing a lot of talking on this topic.
I think the point that you mentioned is there's no back and forth, right? Like, there is no rivalries for Paige. There is no rivalry. Like, that rivalry aspect is missing. It was there for Caitlin. And it was still there for the beginning of the season. Like what's the name? Like Tyler was saying, they running around trying to foul her, and you know, the whole thing between her and still, like, people getting death threats. Like, it was none of that with Paige. None of that stuff happened with Paige. She was just allowed to play with no drama, like no issues, right? There's no story there. People like storylines. I think
that's true. That's very true.
Both nice. Like, both of them are extremely nice. I can't wait to see them play against each other in the WNBA.
I can't wait.
Yeah. I think I love the talent that's being pushed into the WNBA.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to make for some really good
basketball.
They probably could have sit Bubba if she didn't get hurt her sophomore year. They played against each other the junior year.
Yeah.
Let me
Can I talk?
That's my 2 cents, bro.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting.
My bad, Transformer. Go ahead, brother.
I call cap
on all this.
On all this racial talk, man.
Yeah.
People are missing, and G hit one of my points. Drama. People love drama. Why do you think we have so many freaking reality shows? It's too many reality shows for me to even keep track of. People love drama.
Yes.
Angel Reese. Drama. That's a draw to the sport that you playing, because people were not even tuned. People didn't even care about basketball. They just wanted to see if something was going to go down. If Iowa ended up playing LSU, they wanted to see if something was going to go down. Now they want to see if South Carolina can stop Caitlin Clark and prevent her from winning the title. That's number one. So I'm gonna let G's point, and I'm gonna let her stick with that. The point that people are failing to realize the most is that she emulates one of the favorite players in NBA history.
Great point.
Emulates one of the best prolific shooters.
Great point.
All time. Steph Curry is a fan favorite, not because of his size, not because of his athletic ability, not because of his defense, only because we found a shorter guy. I'm not going to call him short because he's way taller than me. A short guy for the NBA.
Yeah.
Be able to go on the grandest stage and just literally shoot lights out, play the game his way, and become one of the biggest megastars in the NBA, in the world. This man is globally known.
He is.
Him and Obama are like freaking brothers. We're talking our former president of the United States. That man bring him to his house often. That's how big Steph Curry is for the NBA. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's Steph Curry. She went on there on the WNBA stage, and just as Steph showed the kids of the young man of his era, I can go out there, and if I learn how to shoot, I can be Caitlin Clark. I don't have to be 6'5". I don't have to be 6'4". I could be 5'11". And if I got a heater, I can go out there and I can be Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
That's what people are missing when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Because if we want to talk white America, right? I want y'all to guess the player. Played for Syracuse, New York. New York, the Mecca basketball, correct? Okay, she's from there. Played high school at Cicero. I forgot how to pronounce that word. North Syracuse. That's New York. That's the Mecca, right?
Well, the Mecca's New York City, but go ahead though.
But we close enough. We're close enough. New York. New York is the Mecca basketball.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Right? Okay, that's what they say.
That's not true. I'll leave it.
What? Hey, G, I'll leave you to your point. It could be Baltimore.
You can't say that.
It could be Baltimore, but if you hear anybody say the Mecca basketball, they're gonna say New York. All right.
Yeah.
They're gonna say Madison Square Garden.
2012 to 2016, won 4 consecutive titles. 4 consecutive titles in the NCAA. Goes on to the NBA. 3-time champion. 2-time league MVP. So now that we stated she's from New York, played for UConn, the biggest WNBA sports team for women's sports, went to the WNBA, won 3 more titles, got 2 MVPs. She's pale as shit. Can y'all guess who that name is?
Stewie.
So if it's about white America, it would have been her years ago.
That's always been my argument. Yeah.
It would have been her years ago that she would have been put on the same pedestal that Caitlin Clark is. All right, but let me tell you something about Stewie. She's 6'4".
Yeah.
She's tall. A lot of middle America white girls, they don't grow to be 6'4".
They do not.
They do not.
No.
So guess what? Caitlin Clark is shorter and has a heater. She passed the ball very good on she has turnovers, but that's the name of the game. She always got the ball in her hands, but she's a great passer and she can shoot the ball. She's showing these young little white ladies, hey, I don't need to be super athletic. I don't need to be like prolific defense. I don't need to be in the paint. I don't need to be doing none of that.
Right.
If I can get a heater and I know how to distribute the basketball, I can make it to the highest level of my sport. That's why Caitlin Clark gets the damn recognition that she does. It's not things that she do off the court because she's quiet. She's very, very quiet. She don't want to be in the media. She don't do all the extra stuff like Angel Reese and stuff like that. Not saying it's wrong, but she's not out there like that.
Yeah,
she's to herself. She's quiet. She's from the middle America, and she's like, man, I just go out there. I play my game. I do my interview, and I go home.
That's it.
That's it. So it's nothing that she does outside of what she does on the court that's put her on a pedestal that it was. Bruce, you just stated the facts. There's a 47% drop in viewership since she left. Guess what? Because the little white girls who idolize Caitlin Clark, they ain't got nobody else to relate to. She's in the WNBA. They're gonna go watch her there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Olympics, we saw that. The Olympics, without Caitlin Clark, viewership was very, very low. The biggest complaint that Caitlin Clark was not on that floor from all fans, from WNBA to NBA, just sports related. They were like, y'all should have put Caitlin Clark on that stage.
In fairness, she didn't deserve to be on that team yet, and that's fine. From the point you're making, totally get it.
Hell, Jason Tatum was invited and didn't even play. He's a champion. Just invite her. Just bring her. Let her be on the sideline. Let people come and get autographs from her.
You talking about the Olympics? Jason played. He had like 2 minutes.
You could have gave Caitlin Clark 2 minutes. I mean, the kid can hoop, man. I'm happy to see that the WNBA has a Steph Curry, because that's what Steph Curry did for the NBA. He came in and he became the most prolific scorer ever. Small, frail body, injury prone, all that. Played at Davidson, shot his lights out. Came in the NBA, won 4 titles, and 2 MVPs, 1 unanimous. Broke all shooting records from the 3-point line, and still extending that number. They see Caitlin Clark doing the same thing in the WNBA. That's why she gets the praise, and she gets, not the praise, but the recognition that she gets, because she's that. Yeah. I rest my case, man. Folks need to stop this white America crap.
You made a fantastic case. I don't have any argument. And
Breanna Stewart been white America.
Been
that. Facts. Been there, done that.
Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, no question.
Done that. They white as all can be. Caitlin Clark is just the one that shoots like Steph.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it, bro.
There you go. All right, well, let's open up these phone lines real quick. We'll take a couple of calls and see if anybody has any commentary, maybe any pushback on this. I'd love to hear it. 904-219-8264, 904-219-8264. I'd love to hear if anybody has any pushback on this. And then we'll go ahead and we'll get to that final topic and get you guys out of here so you can enjoy the rest of your Palm Sunday. I didn't even know it was Palm Sunday until like yesterday.
Right now.
Yeah.
I didn't even know till right now.
Yeah.
Let me see. Is it Palm Sunday? I don't even see if that pops up on my calendar.
Steve. Here we go. What's going on, Steve? How are you, my brother?
What up, Bruce?
What
up, G? What up, Twizzler?
What's happening?
Not much.
Put my red hoodie back on.
Ass kissing you're doing for my girl. You better back off, Twizzler. This whole diatribe being all nice. I know what your game is. You better back off my girl. This is some bullshit. Trying to step on a short king. That's bullshit.
Hey, man, I'm short, bro. How tall you think I am?
I don't know.
I'm short, bro.
Right now, I'm a little defensive about this. Listen, I'm a man. I know we're spitting game. I know what you're doing here. You're trying to infiltrate my trap. I'm gonna Harrison Butker her. She's mine. I just don't appreciate this. I already kicked you out of the LeBron cult. Don't make me go farther now. I got to watch my words, okay? I know I got to behave a little bit.
We appreciate it.
I can't go full blown the way I like it. But anyway, about the actual topic.
Yes.
I think you guys did a good job covering it. Looked at different perspectives. Man, I want to make a shitload of jokes right now. I'm trying to behave.
You do. Thank you.
But in all seriousness, like I think Bruce, you're right. There's always a racial dynamic because it's part of human nature.
Yes.
You acknowledge these things. It's just a natural thing. Do I think it was as bad as like the media made it out to be? I personally don't. It seems like the numbers are backing it up, where it's like, I don't think it was this racial dynamic. I think it was the fact that Caitlin can just ball.
Yeah.
My boo-boo bear, my Catholic bae, she can just ball. And I think it's unique because she came from a university that's not a typical blue blood. She was able to have volume shooting.
Yeah.
Like you said, she couldn't go to UConn and get away with that stuff. She's not going to go to South Carolina and get away with that stuff. Like she's not going to go. I mean, Notre Dame, certain places, like certain blue blood women's basketball programs used to be like Tennessee.
Right.
You're not just going to go in there and be able to get that. She got her shot off at a random school in the Midwest that doesn't have a lot of basketball history.
Right.
And she took them to crazy heights.
She did.
I think Gene made some good points. Like, yes, I think more eyeballs were drawn because of this rivalry thing, the Angel Reese, like when they played last year in the Final Four and they actually beat LSU. Like, that's what everybody wanted. And, like, you got to give respect to Angel. She has a huge market, too. She's got a big fan base, too. People like her. But, yeah, I think pretty much we're seeing that nothing against Paige. She's a good player.
I think she's a really
good player. Caitlin's different. I mean, calm down. Calm down, Twizzler. Great player. You know, you're trying to take Paige. Like, chill, bro. But, yeah, Caitlin's different. I don't think we saw anything like that. I think she got a lot of fanfare because she came from a place that was kind of like an underdog, too. And that's another thing. Like I think that's across the board. That's Americana, where it's like people cheer for the underdog. I don't think the racial dynamic matters in that case, where it's like people just like to see an underdog story. She was in Iowa. They were pretty much always an underdog.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, kudos to her. Trying to behave. I want to make some more jokes, but I won't.
Relax.
Yes, we'd like to keep this channel going.
Well, it's not my channel, so I mean, I'm in the chat. I have my job and my role, and I know what it is.
You do.
Trying to behave.
Thank you.
Trying to behave. But yeah, I think that's about all. That's all I had. Again, nothing against Paige, nothing against anybody else. Mm-hmm. But I think Caitlin just offers something nobody saw. It's a very unique thing. It's a conglomerate of multiple things. She's at an underdog school. You know, she has a very unique game that's similar to Steph. Steph, you know, I get this is everybody says it's LeBron's era, but Steph has been arguably the most impactful guy in this era. As far as like what moves the needle.
As far as change the game, yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying he's better than LeBron, it's just he has affected the game more. Like the entire NBA's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it stinks. I don't like to see all the 3-pointers. I think we all agree, but it's like it is what it is. Steph influenced the game more than anybody else, and we're seeing that with Caitlin.
Again, that's more so to my point. That's a great thing to pick up. Not everybody's 6'8", 240 and can run a 4.4 on the basketball court.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, I mean, not everybody is a freight train running down the lane.
I didn't like all your brown nosing you were doing. You did make some good points, but I'm just letting you know I'm watching you. Okay. It's like, back off, buddy. Like, this ass kissing is ridiculous. Like, I'm Harrison Bueckers. She's going to be mine. You just got to chill, bro. You got all the girls to chat, man. You can't be this stingy and selfish, bro. Chill. All right, fellas.
Steve,
that's all I have. Let somebody else call. Stay blessed, guys.
You too, Steve.
It's Palm Sunday for me, so everybody stay blessed.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Stay blessed, bro.
Oh, man, we'll take one more call on this if anybody's got anything else they want to say, and then we'll go ahead and get to the last one. You guys know Steve is.
Oh, boy.
Steve
I knew that was coming, man. She's going to go to the Dallas Wings when she gets
That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking
Dallas
like.
Wings. I was trying to figure out what team she was going to go to.
All right. Well, let's get to this last topic and then we'll get out of here. Let everybody enjoy this Palm Sunday. Okay. So, well, you can see the thumbnail there on the rundown.
Speaking of Braun.
Isaiah Thomas, one of LeBron's biggest supporters. Is that fair to say?
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he says he's the greatest player of all time. He says he's better than Jordan. I mean, he always shows him love. Respect due. That's his opinion. Isaiah Thomas, one of LeBron's biggest supporters. He was not happy. What's the matter with you, G? What are you laughing at, man? What am I missing?
Nothing, bro.
I don't know what he's laughing at. Isaiah was not happy at all with LeBron James the other night, and I thought it was very interesting. Yeah, I saw that too, Horizon Vibes. I did see that, but that was prior to The Last Dance. So we'll just leave that there. Yeah, those of us who support and love. Okay, so Caitlin Clark. Those that hate her, it's
so, Bruce, you're doing it again. You're
Yeah.
reading the comments before you finish the topic. Go.
My bad. Okay, so yes, back to Isaiah Thomas. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. So Isaiah Thomas, one of LeBron James' biggest supporters, really got on LeBron the other night because he was not happy about something that he saw prior to the Lakers game. So I'm gonna play the B-roll here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it because I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about this. Because despite what you guys think, most of the time we don't discuss our thoughts on these topics before we get onto the show. We just share the topics and decide what they're going to be, but we don't discuss our thoughts on them. So here's Isaiah. Yeah, freestyle. Here's Isaiah, and then we'll get back to it and share our thoughts.
Second part of our doubleheader tonight. LeBron James going to play the game like this. Shirts and skins is what they're doing tonight.
I just totally 100% object to this. And if I was the GM or coach,
Me too.
I would never let one of my players walk out on the floor looking like this. I mean, we are a professional NBA league. We ain't summer league. We ain't at the YMCA.
Listen, I think coaches got to go back to suits.
Absolutely.
I just mean.
Absolutely. I just think
College and pro.
I just think the professionalism in our NBA league has diminished so much. And I look, I like LeBron. I'm a fan of his, so forth and so on. But to walk out on the floor before a game with no shirt on and shoot, I mean, come on, man. Where we at? What we doing? Where we at? Now, if you want to, Adam Silver, if you want to find somebody, find that. Put a fine on that.
So one of the things I thought was interesting, thinking about this, right? Isn't that the whole point of them giving you warm-ups? So you have something to wear when you're out on the floor getting warmed up. You have shooting shirts, you have shooting jackets.
Before the warm-ups.
You could be out there in a sleeveless T-shirts. Okay, all right. But go ahead. My bad.
No, I was just saying that was before the warm-ups.
I got it. So I knew it. Here we go to LeBron. Anyway, Nino, I can't wait to take your call on this. Definitely. So here's my thing, right? I'm sure you guys can assume I agree with Isaiah when he talks about the professionalism piece, right? I don't know that there's any need to be out there. We've seen other players throughout history being out there prior to warm-ups, hours early working out, right? Reggie Miller was known for that. Larry Bird known for that. Michael Jordan known for that. Kobe, all the great ones.
I think Kobe had the keys to the stadium.
Okay.
That's how early he was.
Any of them out there with no shirt on? I'm not saying it never happened, but if they know that there's cameras around, they're going to comport themselves in a certain way. Have we ever seen that before?
It's not major stars, but it's been a couple of players that's done it.
Okay, so not major
Beasley
stars.
used to do it all the time.
So my thing is this, and this gets back to, I think I've said this before, LeBron just seems to think that no rules apply to him, that he can do whatever he wants whenever he feels like it. That's really annoying to me. Now I know people say, oh, you just a LeBron hater, cool, whatever you say, I don't care. But the point is, he really generally behaves in a fashion that says rules don't apply to me. I do what I want. Like he really believes this I'm the king thing. And so I don't know. It bothered me. And then I have, speaking to professionalism, I have some other sound that we'll get to next. But Transform, I think G started last time, right? So Transform.
No, I started last time. No, G did start last time.
Okay, so Transformer, let's start with you and your thoughts on this. What Isaiah said. Do you think he was out of line for saying it? Where are you?
Out of line is a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
It's his opinion. Did anybody else in the world have a problem with Bron having his shirt off? No. Did anybody really care? No. Did it affect anything? No. I mean, what are we talking about? Right? I think more so we're talking about it because it's LeBron James. That's one. Two, when you want to talk professionalism, you shouldn't mention professionalism and hint that you're trying to say a curse word on live TV. Professionalism 101. Be professional at all times. Right? So if you're going to be professional, I believe if you're going to speak about professionalism, you must emulate what you're talking about.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that taking LeBron out of it, just on pure talking about professionalism, you need to make sure your backyard is pretty spectacular. No weeds, no overgrown grass, the trees, the bushes are trimmed, all of that. Isaiah Thomas has a very great track record of being professional, but he also had times where he was very unprofessional on the court and off the court in interviews. So to criticize somebody and then not necessarily say pocket watch, but try to point to the fact, well, get him fined for something like that. Now we're going a little step too far. If you don't like him not having a shirt on, cool, that's fine. You know what I mean? But now we're talking, well, fine that. Fine him, Adam Silver. Look at this. This is what needs to be fined. Who cares? Nobody had a problem with him having his shirt off. No, I mean, he's energetic. One, this is not even warm-ups. This is before warm-ups. So is it LeBron James' fault that the cameras are always on him and that he's out there early just shooting around? You know what I mean? One thing about me being a personal trainer is that we try to emphasize health and body type. Do we not always say that LeBron is one of the most longer duration players in NBA history? He's an athlete, freakish athlete, has a great body, always works on his physique, always works out. Don't you think the NBA can kind of play that in their favor? Like, hey man, you see how our 40-year-olds look over here? They look pretty freaking pristine. Wink, wink, Luka Doncic. Wink, wink, Nikola Jokic. Wink, wink. Get your body right. Look good. James Harden. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? So when I look at that, I don't think he went too far as what he said. I mean, I don't think it's out of line of what he said because that's, again, his opinion. But like nobody said anything but Isaiah Thomas about it. You know what I mean? That's just my problem with it. You know what I mean? But not only that, the bigger problem comes when, like I said, when you want to talk about professionalism, I don't need to have a video of you choking your coach out in the middle of the floor in an NBA game. Granted, his coach told him, take your anger out on me. But again, now I'm putting my hands around my coach of my team in an NBA game, taking my anger out. That's not professional at all. That's actually committing bodily harm. Because now, what does that say to the public? Oh man, coach, if I'm angry, bro, just let me choke you real quick. Or let me take my anger out on you. No, don't you think that if I'm an idol, if Isaiah Thomas is my idol, I'm like, dang, bro, that's what I'm talking about, man. Let me let out some of my anger a little bit. You know what I mean? Let me put my okay, cool. That's not professional, Isaiah. So you had some moments in your career where you wasn't professional, but I don't think nobody was yelling out, hey, find this guy, find him. You know what I mean? So I in my opinion, that's when I feel like it's out of line. You need to have a stellar your backyard. Grass better be cut. Ain't a weed I can find. The bushes are trimmed. The trees look nice. I found some weeds. I'm in the HOA. I'm about to find you. I'm about to find you. But yeah, that's all I got, bro. Go ahead.
G, go ahead, man. Then I'll respond a little bit to that.
So I looked at this a couple of ways. One, Zeke on the panel with some pretty pristine individuals. And then out of nowhere, he started going at LeBron about wearing his bonnet, doing warm-ups. And so the first thing I thought about was, this is a professionalism type deal. Okay, all right. So he's probably looking at, how LeBron has been carrying himself with the Stephen A thing. And now you dressing and with no shirt on and not knowing, I mean, you got the whole world looking at you. It doesn't matter how much time you got. This is a sport that he played. We didn't play. He played in that sport. And so it's okay for him to say these things. And I hope he take heed to it because, you know, Zeke invested a lot of time in his life playing the game. So I don't see nothing wrong with him like nudging him in the right direction. Like, hey, young man, get yourself together. You know, like you got eyes watching you. But the final thing, I thought that was out of line. That's a conversation behind closed doors that coach is supposed to have. To air that out and, you know, air that business out for sound bites, which we seen him do previous times, right? But the Barnett situation was funny to me. I think if it was anybody else if it was a female wearing a Barnett doing warm-ups, it'd be a whole lot. It'd be a whole lot of people saying, you know what, that's ghetto as shit. Like that was ghetto though. Like that's what it was. It was ghetto. That's what he said in so many words. Like this is the NBA. That's shit ghetto that you got going on. Put a shirt on. Like any coach would tell any player, like put a shirt on. You know, at any level, put a shirt on.
Yeah, is it ghetto when the NFL players do it?
It's not the same sport.
I'm just asking. It was just a question.
It's a different sport.
Exactly. Remember when PK Subban was talking about comparing NHL and NBA, you know, it was quick, you know, the defenders of the NBA were quick to point out the totally different culture. And I agree. But so I think we can do the same thing with NFL.
Definitely had to have a Hall of Famer say something like, my words don't mean shit to LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Our words don't mean shit. But when Zeke say something, it's like, oh, okay. You know, he's a Hall of Famer in the front office of a lot of teams. And now he's speaking on something that he feels is a issue. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I just don't like him going at his pockets.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think the pockets was just a little too much. Like you could say you don't like it, but
it's a great point.
The guy, damn. All right, bro.
Well, I don't think he was calling for the league to fine him. I don't know if there was a reference to something else. No. I think there was reference to something else in terms of fines because he said if y'all want to fine that. So
yeah,
I think
he's talking about John Morant.
Reference it. Okay, there you go.
He's referencing John Morant because John Morant's getting fined for the gestures of the gun pointing and the emulating weapons on a basketball court. So
there you go.
Those fines coming out, Isaiah Thomas like, if you want to find something, find that.
Right.
Like find that. But that's still alluding like, okay, well, Adam Silver, you need to find that.
It seems like there's a heavy emphasis on reestablishing professionalism in the NBA.
As there should be.
Yeah, and there should be some line there. Crazy.
If that's the case, it needs to be a dress code at all times.
I agree. Because, you know, some people ain't. A lot of people
seeing some shady walk. Like when they walk to the stadium, see-through shirts. I'm talking most outrageous dress.
Once you swipe your badge, you know what I mean? You're supposed to look like the corporate man when you go in there. That's a business. Once you swipe
that was a Pat Riley thing.
What you do before then is,
So were you gonna stop outside and change into it? You know what I'm saying? Because they're not doing that.
What you mean? No, I'm saying before you touch the court, before you touch the basketball court, you should be dressed like a professional because that's what you do. That's your job. I mean, they got team warm-ups. That's what you wear. Warm-ups.
No, but that's not
t-shirt. God it! But
that's definitely not what I'm talking about. But
now, nobody's asking people to be Tim Duncan and wear a baggy suit.
Yeah, that's
least
terrible too.
He dressed up in a suit.
Man,
Timmy tried, right?
Mike Reggie enough, man. Come on, man. Keep it tight.
But I think if you want to, point emphasis like the Pat Rileys and the who was the coach when Dallas won? I mean, it was still Pat Riley. Pat Riley in the playoffs when he told everybody, "Hey, pack one suit."
Yeah,
because we winning this and we coming home.
Yeah,
he told his team what to wear. Like, hey, we're wearing suits. So that comes from a top-down perspective. Like, hey, we wearing nothing but suits. So don't even bother trying to put your drip on and got your nipples all out, Westbrook. And walking up to because like if we want to find something, I'm finding the hell out of that. What the hell you got on?
You're gonna have those people coming after you, but we not.
You know what I mean? Hey, granted, I didn't say a word. I'm just talking about the shirt. Right? So like if Isaiah Thomas wants to talk about it, like you talking about one of the most athletic looking guys in the NBA in the sport with a shirt off in the court, fine. That's fair. That's your opinion. All right, let's talk about what these guys wearing when they come to the freaking stadium and the cameras are rolling and they walking like ain't nothing wrong with their outfit. Bruh, a lot is wrong with your outfit. A lot is wrong. One, why you got heels on? Why you got heels on? Hey, we don't wear heels. You're a basketball player. Don't that hurt? You're exercising your calves for no reason.
Stop. No, I wanted to one thing I wanted to respond to what you said earlier, Transformer. And actually Edward and I were talking about this in terms of Isaiah with the choking the coach, right? Which I am in no way advocating. Let me make that clear. I am in no way advocating the choking the coach, whatever the situation, right? But what I will say is this. The reason I see it as being different is because we behave differently in the heat of competition versus when you're calm and you're a more sound mind, right? In the heat of competition, people get in fights, people throw the ball at people curse each other out, say things that are absolutely absurd. We know some of the stuff KG has said to people, some of the stuff Gary Payton has said to people, like stuff you would never, ever say to somebody outside of those lines, right? The heat of competition makes different things happen, especially in men when that testosterone is flowing, right? And so, again, while I'm not advocating for the choking the coach, I think it's, and again, you also said the coach said, hey, take it out on me if you're upset, but it's also just, it's a different situation versus, okay, you're LeBron, you 5 hours before the game, however many, you're of sound mind. Once more, I'll say, we've seen tons of dudes work out 5 hours before the game, whether it's Reggie Miller, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, so on and so forth, and you don't see them out there like that. And that's all I'm saying. Again, maybe I just have an old school mentality on things, but the problem is in society, we have a general degradation of standards. This whole business of, it's not hurting anybody, just let them do what they want to do. Nah, standards are there for a reason. And when you have a general degradation of them across society, this is where we get where we are now. You know what I'm saying? And you can take that how you want to take it, but this is how we end up where we are now. And so I think that while you made very valid points, Transformer, for me personally, it's just the premise of keep some standards. That's that.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. That's extremely fair if that's the standard. Now, if LeBron broke a rule, absolutely, that's on LeBron.
I got you.
That's on LeBron. But if there was no rule on how I need to be dressed when I warm up.
But there's also unwritten rules. A lot of standards are unwritten rules. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. But to you guys' point, and I hadn't thought about this when Isaiah said, if you want to find something, find that wasn't necessary. So you guys are right. I hadn't thought about that portion of it. So yeah, you guys are right. He was out of line on that. But the second part of this I wanted to talk about more specifically with LeBron and not just kind of doing what he wants to do and thinking like, I'm just above everything was him. And this was from the Mind the Game podcast, episode 2 with Steve Nash, when he's talking. Have you guys heard it when he's talking about leaving the floor early?
Mm-mm.
And so
I think I heard somebody speak about it, but I didn't.
Yeah, so this is because think about it, and this is something I'm sure I brought up, and we see him leaving the floor early very often, right? Whether it's, maybe only 60 or 90 seconds before the game is over, but he's out. And
in wins and losses, by the way, because he does it in both. Yeah, it's wins, not just losses. Because I know somebody be like, he's a sore loser. He does that in wins too.
He does that in wins too. So 60 to 90 seconds. Okay, cool. So I wanted to play the sound from that real quick. I got just a little over a minute, and then we'll go back to some sound he had, which contradicts his earlier sound from some years back. So let's go ahead. We'll play that, and I'll get back to why I'm playing it.
In order to be ready for the next game or the road, whatever it is, it starts right after the game ends and you sit down, So I'm getting right to the ice and I'm getting right to nutrition and getting fluids back into me because I need to start preparing for the next game. So it's funny. A lot of people see me walking off the court, when there's time left in the game.
Right.
Like no matter if it's a loss or a win. The reason I'm trying to get to the locker room so I can start.
I saw a clip from last night.
Yeah, the game was a wrap.
Just hungry.
I got to get to the locker room to start my process to get ready for the next game.
That's
so
amazing.
I'll be sitting in the locker room, foot on the ice bags on. I got my smoothie and my fruit, and I'm already getting to it right now. So
that's amazing. People will probably see you leave the court and be like, "No, damn, he's
they had that. It was funny when during a loss, they was like, "Oh, he's a poor sport." He's leaving the court. They lost. And then they start seeing me do it during the wins. They was like, well, he's no sportsmanship.
That's a great thing for fans to know. Like, that's how dialed you are in your process. Is like, I cannot wait for the next step in the process. You're not sitting there ready to like chest bump at the buzzer. Let me get in this tub.
Let's get this done.
Right.
Let's get going.
That's amazing. I mean, I appreciate it.
So Steve Nash, man, Jesus Christ, the glazing got to stop. But that's not even my point. Point is, let's say LeBron says, he's got to get back and start his routine, right? 60 to 90 seconds. How much is that going to hold up your routine? Seriously. Now, if it
holds up more than that.
If he was leaving 5 minutes early, I got you. But like and this is what I'm saying. It's not like he's a guy that is leaving like way early from the floor. So that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is it's a couple of seconds. Like it can't, because think about it. The training staff is going to have whatever he likes ready. His fruit, his smoothie, whatever. The ice bath is already ready. Everything's prepared for him. So how much time is he saving in terms of getting into his routine by leaving the floor?
5 to 10 minutes.
Maximum 2 minutes early.
About 5 to 10 minutes.
How?
Because when the game's over, what do they do post game?
What, on the court interviews?
On the court interviews, handshaking, ball signing, pause, autograph. Like they do a lot of things. When the TV turns off, players are still actively on the floor, especially if they're the stars of the team, right? I think more so, and I'm not justifying. I'm just saying, if he does get a head start because he doesn't have to do all the extracurricular stuff post game, he just goes straight to recovery.
So here's the deal, right? Putting the journalist hat on real quick.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't necessarily, like sometimes he does it, but he doesn't necessarily have to do the on the floor interview after the game, right? He can go back there, because if you want the sound from LeBron, you're probably going to be in the locker room, or you're going to wait till the post game presser. It's going to be one of the two. Yeah. So he doesn't necessarily have to stay around on the floor even after the game if he waits till the game is over. He doesn't, and we're going to get to the handshaking thing in a minute, because he doesn't do that anyway. So what I'm saying is, like, leaving the floor 60 to 90 seconds early does not save that much time in terms of getting into your routine for the next game. So I'm like, for me, whenever I hear this dude, it's like everything is always some well-contrived story that doesn't work for normal people brains. It just doesn't. He gets away with it with his people, his LeBron fans, etc. But it doesn't work if you really sit back and think about it. G, what are your thoughts on this before I play the second sound? About a minute.
I have no more or nothing else to say on this topic.
She said, I don't got no more bandwidth for this. This all goes to the professionalism thing, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, why would you? This is when you get like a spoiled kid, right? You got a kid that's been spoiled their entire career.
Yeah.
And now they're above the law, and then everybody else is following a certain rule, but you're not following this rule.
Right.
It just looked bad for the game, man. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's bad for the game.
Now, is it a rule? Because it's not like he's ducking the media.
It's one of those unwritten rules, though, right? You leave when the game is over, not during the middle of the game. You just don't do that.
And obviously, middle of the game loosely. Obviously he's not leaving during the middle of the game. But go ahead.
No, but I mean, like, even towards the end of the game, like when the belt until the game is over, I mean, it's still play. But what do I know, man? What do I know?
Right. I don't know, man.
Nino, you're getting there. I think you're getting there.
Kobe was able to use a helicopter when everybody else couldn't. When did I didn't know anything about that? Was there a rule about other people not using a helicopter?
Bro, they had to fly the team jet.
Because Kawhi used a helicopter.
Special stars.
No, but wait a minute. No, Kobe flew the team jet with the team, right? But
not all the time.
He flew the helicopter to and from where he lived to the arena.
Not all the time. It's quite often that Kobe took the helicopter, or he took a different, like a private jet.
To the games?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Because Kobe actually used to be late sometime.
I didn't know anything about that.
The only thing that this says is that like everything that they say about LeBron is probably fucking true. That's what that means, man.
Right.
You gotta put yourself in the game, bro. Like it's a basketball game. I'm okay with him. They can catch a boat to the game if they want to. I don't care. But once you lock in, now it's you and the fans, man. Like that's an insult to the fans leaving early. Look, those are the ones that pay your bills, man. Like I get it. I'm okay with it. Like it's fine, but yeah, man. Like until that whistle blow, you sit your ass on the bench. As soon as the coach probably say that, he probably get his ass fired. But it's just getting out of hand, man. Either sit down and let somebody else play, or just play the game right, man. Like
eating on the bench, drinking on the bench, all that. But you always find a way to explain it away. But here's the last part I wanted to talk about in terms of, again, the whole professionalism piece that Isaiah brought up, but didn't really dig into because he's a LeBron guy. So remember in the last clip, LeBron said, they acting like, I'm a poor sportsman because I leave the floor early, right? So he's saying the reason he leaves the floor early is to get into his treatment, right? Okay, cool. So remember the poor sportsmanship piece. Let's get it. 1 second, my bad. All right, poor sportsmanship.
The one thing I would do different, I would definitely, do media. I realize that, you guys' job doesn't begin until ours end. Unless you're a sideline reporter or, you're doing something, during the warm-ups, you guys don't get an opportunity to report what's going on until after the game when we're done. So, doing in the media is something that I would have definitely done. As far as the handshake thing, I think you look at certain sports. You look at tennis. Every time a game is done in tennis, they shake hands. That's what has happened. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do that every time. In the game of basketball, it's not like it happens all the time. You go through 82 regular season games. If you don't shake hands with nobody, no one ever mentions it. And it's not like I have a poor sport or anything like that. It's not common. And the fact that I didn't do media and I didn't shake someone's hand, that's why I was kind of all blown up. For me, I would never accept losing.
Yes, you will.
And me being frustrated about losing got me to the point where I didn't do the media. But I won't apologize for not shaking nobody's hand. I will not.
So I will not apologize for not shaking anybody's hand. Isaiah Thomas has been fairly or unfairly, however you want to look at it, excoriated for the last however many years because he didn't shake somebody's hand. And, basically that has affected him so much throughout the years because he didn't shake somebody's hand. But for LeBron, it's okay that he refuses to shake anyone's hand. So there we go again. So somebody give me your thoughts on that. Either one of you, where are you with that? Because one, this proves that he was lying in the previous clip. And two, it shows, again, the quote unquote unprofessionalism.
G?
I don't know, man. I think it should everything that we talking about unprofessional, like just being unprofessional in itself. I think it's not just LeBron. I think this is something that is a problem with the entire league, right? I think, but when the head, I'll say the head, he's the head of the league. When he's doing it, then they make it okay for everybody else. That's all I really got, man. I don't really have anything else about this topic.
Yeah, I feel it. Transformer, you got anything else before we open up these lines, take a couple calls?
When you're the face of the league, we talk about a bunch of unnecessary shit. We do. Is LeBron the first and only player to ever eat on the sideline?
I've never seen anyone else do it. Maybe someone.
You haven't seen it. Steph Curry ate on the sideline in uniform in the middle of a game.
Was it D'Lo?
No, it's like bananas and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's it for.
D'Lo ate chicken wings on the sideline.
That's wild.
Chicken
was
wings.
Really?
In Brooklyn.
His sugar was low.
Okay.
But you see what I'm getting at?
I do.
The camera's not on them. The camera's always on LeBron.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I agree with where you're going, and you make a very valid point here. So let me say that first. But if you do something and your kid does it, which one is going to be held to higher account?
I am, but that's what I'm like. Since he's the face, it's a problem because it's when you're doing it, he's setting a precedent. Like, okay, it's okay to do it, even though there's actually no rule prohibiting players from eating on the sideline. It's one of those unwritten rules. Like they just they don't because they haven't been doing it. There's nobody that say, hey, don't eat on the sideline. But players have eaten. I got a photo of Steph Curry eating a banana right here on the sideline.
Okay.
Eating the whole banana, like pause, but and Draymond Green looking at them. They're in basketball uniform.
Draymond looking like, what you doing?
And they're eating on the sideline. LeBron was in street clothes. Ate a bowl of fruit. It's not like he eating a burger. You know what I mean? But I'm not excusing what LeBron does. I mean, has done. I'm just saying other players have done it to a far worse degree. It never got brought up. But it's when you're the face of something, you're the head of something, you have the influence for the rest of the league to think it's okay. I guess that's where the problem is occurring for people who have a problem with it. They're like, okay, wait, Bron, you shouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean? Even though we saw other players do it, you don't do it because now you doing it, everybody else is going to be like, oh, well, I guess we can eat fruit on the sideline. Like, I guess that's cool because players eat cookies, candy, they eat all types of stuff on the sideline. But again, the camera's not on them. Why? They're not the face of the league. Camera's always on LeBron. Always on LeBron. So when he does it, I guess it sets that bad precedent against the rest of the league. Now they're like, okay, now we got a problem with it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff. Good stuff. We're gonna leave it right there. We're gonna take 2 calls on this, y'all. 2 quick calls, and then we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. That was good. That was good.
Yeah, man. I'm surprised. There's certain faces that ain't here.
Yeah, right. What's up, Ed? What's going on, man?
What's going on, big bro? What's up, Gino? What's going on, Transformer? How you doing, man?
What's going on, brother?
What's going on, bro? Hey, look, man. Let me go ahead and say this here.
Here we go.
Nah, bro. Let me get it out, bro. Let me go and say this, man.
Pause.
Man, look here, partner. Hey, man, come on, chill, man. I only got that much time.
All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So, first of all, IT, Zeke, man, look, man, he really pulled the get off my lawn card on that. Like, Transformer said everything that I agree with everything he said about that. It was whack. If I was LeBron, I'd put on, man, I'd take my shirt off and all the, man, go my shirt off or something like that, post it on my Twitter. Come on, man. It's nothing. It's really honestly nothing, man. It's bad. It shouldn't be no problem. It's like, dang, everybody should go on back to wearing suits coming in and all that. Is that what we want to see?
What's wrong with that? Why don't we want to see that? What's wrong with that? You're making a ton of money, so you wear a finely tailored suit. Like, I'm asking, what's wrong with that?
Bro, come on, Bruce, man.
No,
look,
I'm asking you because you're saying, is that what we want to go back to seeing? So I'm asking you, what would be wrong with that?
Ain't nothing wrong with that, but that's what it seemed like. That's what he wants, man. And then also, now, Bruce, you said something about, I watched it when you were talking about how LeBron doesn't shake the opponent's hand and all that stuff.
No. You watched it when LeBron said LeBron doesn't shake other people's
hands. Yeah.
I
watched it. Yeah. And you okay with that, or is that a problem?
I don't really like it, but it is what it is.
Okay. Now, you remember the Super Bowl when Tom Brady lost against the Philadelphia Eagles? He did not shake Nick Foles' hand.
I forgot about that. But yeah, I didn't like that either.
He didn't do that. He only do that to like the top tier quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, the Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. I mean, hey, let's call a spade a spade. It was whack too on his end. So let's be fair.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
I'm just saying now. But I just wanted to go ahead and give my little 2 Huh?
You thought you was gonna catch me out there? Nope.
No. Hey, I already called you out earlier, and we ain't going.
We took care of that. We took care of that.
We took care of that.
No, we took care of that. That's right.
Okay then. Because hey, you didn't want to get that battle with me, especially me. Transformer know that. My brother knows that.
And we
knows
Can we move on?
We moving on, B. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna let y'all go and everything, man. Keep up a good show, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Y'all be you, Bruce. Again, you be cool. You be you.
Water. No doubt, brother. Thanks for the call, man. Edward crazy, man. Edward's crazy. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Well, look,
nothing else.
Yeah. Thanks. Oh, we got one more. Laker Nation. Hold on. Laker Nation, what up? What up?
Ooh, man, that was loud.
Mm-hmm. Laker Nation, what's good?
What up? Damn, it's a delay on y'all live and the computer stuff.
Yeah. What you got, man?
Yeah. I was about to hang up because I thought he wasn't going to take any more. I was like, oh, he gets to change his mind.
No, I got it. What's up, man?
All I'm going to say is that you guys made some valid points. These are my rebuttals to those. Well, they're not really rebuttals.
Mm-hmm.
It's just common sense pieces. Is that it was a comment made. I think can't remember. I think Transformer made it that. Since he's the face of the league, when he does make these moves, the cameras are on him. The only thing I got to say to that is, well, if you're in that position and you know that cameras are going to be on you, I would say you should move differently and not try to be like everyone else, because you're not everyone else.
Right.
You even state that you're not everyone else. You're above everyone else. Because the definition of a king is you rule your kingdom. You're above everyone else. So I just think that's a weak defense, saying that, oh, he does it, well, everyone else does it, so it's okay for him to do it when he puts himself above everyone else, calling him the king. That's just my opinion on that. So yeah, even with an empty gym, you coming in with a shirt off, somebody's going to catch it on camera and somebody's going to say something about it. We knew that we knew that was going to happen, and make it a big deal. But one thing that I don't like is this push of this, I'll say, narrative that you can only have an opinion on Bron and make it public if your closet is clean and you have nothing on your record. I mean, that's a bunch of BS too. So I'm glad Charles Barkley didn't say nothing, because the clip
balls at players
would have been all over everywhere. But not give context to the situation on two totally different situations. I showing tweets of him choking his coach because he's seeking professionalism to demean the man's stance on a situation is beyond bullshit too.
How was that though?
That's because a man is entitled to speak what he says on a situation that he feels is not right, and
so it's entitled to response.
And because you have an opinion on this situation, you can't speak on it because you did this, so you shut up and sit down. That's basically what everybody's trying to say.
I mean, that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Cool. But that's not cool.
That's like saying if I rob banks, and I robbed the bank before, I'm telling you, man, hey, Bill, don't rob banks. But you rob banks. So then you make it like, what's the difference? You know what I mean? So like saying for me, don't do something, but I did it.
You're using is you're saying I've been there, done that stupid shit. I don't want you to fall into that same mentality on the example that you're using. But there's not the same example. It's because he's speaking on a man shooting with no shirt on. You're saying, okay, well, here's a clip of you in a heated situation in a playoff game, but you actually got bust upside your head So the coach is telling you, so instead of you going out there fighting the other guys and getting fined and suspended, and we need you just take it out on me. In both situations is things that are on the side that have context. I'm pretty sure there's context to that, but this is just a common theme as to what I'm saying is when anyone speaks on him, whether it's Stephen A. Smith, whether it's Charles Barkley, whether it's Perk, it don't matter who it is. Every time somebody says something that he does that they don't agree with, you guys all magically bring shit out of their closet and magnify it and say, oh, well, you're this. You shouldn't even be saying anything about LeBron. So basically, you don't want nobody to talk about him. When sports, that's what media's job is to do, is to talk about him. What is it? What is it? Like, it's like what is it? Like, you a grown man, I'm a grown man, Bruce a grown man, Gino's a grown, we all grown men. We can state we can have our opinions on things. We talk about it all the time. Yeah, he brought it on TV, but come on. I'm tired of this bullshit that every time somebody has something to say about LeBron, we gotta magnify it and bring skeletons out their closet.
Sounds familiar.
Is this dude such a diva that nobody can say nothing about him? Can't touch him. He can't do anything. Just let him do keep our mouth shut.
Yes, that's
what we want.
Familiar.
That's what we want to do, huh?
Sounds so familiar.
Talking about him. This is stop talking about him.
Sounds so familiar.
I don't think it's a big deal because
do this back and forth.
I don't think it's a big deal because NBA players come in the gym, not in uniform. They come and shoot hours before the game. I'm pretty sure that was hours before the game.
Yeah.
Not doing. Now, if it was a packed gym, I doubt that he would come in there with no shirt on. But because he was caught on camera and somebody blasted on TV, like, I made a comment about that yesterday. Like, damn, this man can't do shit.
Hey.
Like, he can't even get out he can't walk out his front door, get into his car wearing shorts, and everybody like, oh shit, look at him, he's wearing shorts. Get into it. Like,
all right, let me wrap this up, right? Plain and simple. We can say, or whoever can say, oh, he can't do nothing. But guess what? He would not trade not being able to do nothing for living like us and not having the money and the fame that he has. Plain and simple. When you're a public figure, you accept what comes with it. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else.
Yep.
But I'm not making excuses, Bruce. I'm just stating the fact that this man, I'm just saying everything he does is magnified, and he knows that.
Yeah.
So my stance on the situation is he should move different.
Exactly.
I don't give a damn what he do.
Agreed.
Because I'm gonna live my life and do me. But I'm only talking about it because we all talking about it and we're debating it. So after this show, I'm gonna continue to do me and forget all about it.
Correct. But yo, we're gonna get up out of here, man. Thank you for the call, Laker Nation. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. And have a good one, man.
All right, Bruce.
All right, brother.
I think we're also realizing that nobody's perfect.
Yes.
I mean, having cameras always on you, they're going to always find something. You can be the most holistic person in the world, and it's something something that you're going to do in your everyday life that's just going to rub somebody the wrong way. But before we go, guys, I know we're trying to wrap this up. I do want to take the moment in time to acknowledge, I know it's been brought up in the chat multiple times, but former LSU receiver Kyron Lacy was found dead Saturday night in Houston. An LSU official confirmed today on ESPN. So I want to take the time out from the Format Podcast, from the bottom of my heart, to the Lacy family, all friends and everyone involved, teammates that had the pleasure of playing alongside him. Our condolences to the Most High, whatever you believe in, quick prayer or moment of silence for those guys and his family. So absolutely, definitely wanted to acknowledge that, man. Sad happenings. I think he was 24 years old and, played wide receiver for LSU. So wanted to acknowledge that.
You got caught up in a hit and run situation.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah, and it just threw his whole life. That just messed his whole life up. Said he unalived himself.
That's tough. Yeah, that is tough. All right, well, we're gonna leave it right there. For all of you, thanks again for tuning in. Please hit the like and subscribe on the way out.
Please.
Thank you for the continuous support. We appreciate it, and we'll be back with you next time. We out.
Peace.